This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Great opening. Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. It's June 16th. I'm Tori here with Lindsay and Al. I always wear this hot pink when it's gonna be summer.
Really?
Huh?
Gonna be. It was 103 yesterday.
It was hot.
Okay.
This was one of your outfits.
Photo shoot
Yeah,
outfits.
photo shoot outfits.
So
okay.
every time you see me, I'm gonna be like,
and I remember it was the arms because you were like, yeah, I'm working out.
yeah.
now.
Look at me. I have an actual definition, huh?
I see it
all right.
still.
Tricep, that name wasn't there.
No, it wasn't. All right. Yesterday, we talked about a Houston reporter named Ivory Hecker. Who remembers this? She went rogue, remember, on live TV? Well, Ivory accused the local Fox station where she worked of, quote, muzzling her, keeping viewers from stories that she thought mattered. Now we're learning that it was that she felt muzzled from reporting on some of the secret recordings. We're learning what they were about. They were released by the far-right group Project Veritas. Let's take a listen.
I want out of this narrative news telling. I want out of this corruption.
I have passed on Bitcoin stories by almost every single reporter for our 5 o'clock audience because that's not our 5 o'clock audience.
To cease and desist posting about hydroxychloroquine. In my opinion, you failed as a reporter to not know more if you were going to post about hydroxychloroquine, that you didn't look it up and look at the latest post, the latest research about it.
If you don't know, Bitcoin is a popular digital currency. Fox 26, though, has responded, calling Hecker a disgruntled former employee and claimed these secret recordings used selective editing to misrepresent newsroom bosses. So what do you think of Ivory blowing up her job? This has kind of got some legs here. What do you think, Al? They've raised how much money for her?
I just heard that since she's lost her job, she's raised almost at least $500,000.
Wow.
From different outlets. I mean, kind of the same as we saw with who's the shooter kid, Kyle
Rittenhouse.
Yeah. So like I said yesterday, this is a business model now. If you want to make money, like, just imagine if the RNC was coming up, is there any chance she wouldn't be speaking at that? This is a business model now. This was a business decision.
To blow up.
Yes, and it worked. We're talking about it 2 days in a row. What stories do we talk about 2 days in a row, Lindsay?
Right.
And so, I look at this, and she felt a certain way. It's just strange that she picked the one job that literally, I'm sure when you walk in any newsroom, Lindsay, I'm not going to tell you, probably says make sure you're fair and balanced and justified because you're not, it's a news, it's not an opinion.
And I think the one thing about a reporter is that you have the space to pitch guests that maybe stand by an opinion that you don't agree with or doesn't have all the facts, and then maybe challenge them with another guest and make it a great segment. But you don't have to be the reporter that reports the news that's not 100% accurate or proven. And so she's like, I want to get out of this newsroom. Well, she was a suspended employee yesterday. She's a former quote-unquote
She's
employee
fired
today. I think she doesn't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
But like you said, if she raised $500,000, maybe this was a plan. But I just think there was a way, if she really felt like journalism was her true calling and wanted to get the truth out, to find out how to tell that story without blowing her entire job up in the middle of a weather segment.
Yeah, but at the same time, we are talking about her. It's so interesting. You think this was planned and it's working.
Yeah, it's just
very interesting.
It does work, and I'm just like sitting here. I'm not even concerned about the rest of the stories. I just want to figure out how to do that with my job.
I know. I was like, don't do it.
How do I get $500,000 by the end of the day? What do I need to say? Where's my camera?
No, take it away. Take it away. He's got a bloody nose again. All right. We all know things have been getting really heated on planes recently. I'm scared. I'm going on my first flight soon. We've got another story for you. This time it's over the all-important armrest.
Serious.
It's hardcore, okay? So this plane had to get diverted back to the gate. 2 men were escorted off the plane. They got into a physical fight over the armrest, specifically, quote, elbow placement. So what? So what
our stage manager shaking his head, as he should.
That's right. What is the proper armrest etiquette? And is it worth fighting over?
There's real etiquette. Seriously. A woman did this all the way to LA to New York with me. And I was just like, it was like subtle. And I was like, you know what? You got it. You got it. Because I'm in the middle seat, and the etiquette, according to an etiquette expert that I've interviewed, is that the middle seat person gets both armrests. Now, I'm not saying she's the only etiquette expert in the world.
I've heard that too, though.
But like if you're outside, you get the right or whatever. You get the one on this side. Inside, you get the one on this side. And this is a valid argument, but not a valid fist fight. You got to know when to fold it. I always quote Kenny Rogers. So it's ridiculous that they brought down the whole plane. I know that FAA has charged people $15,000 for crap like this in the past, in this last year, for unruly passenger behavior. So I really hope that they both didn't take their flight from San Francisco.
Do you think they should post it?
Post it.
Like when you get on the plane, the middle seat, both armrests.
Oh, they should post the side that you meant on
just
Instagram.
to avoid this. Because I thought it was social, just norms. But here's a question for y'all. What about the movies?
I haven't been in the movies in so long. I don't.
Oh, you mean with
the
the
seats
cup
in the
holder?
movies, Tori. No, let's just get into the general genre.
Sorry. I thought you meant movies on a plane. I'm thinking, wait, what? I generally kind of agree with you that, like, if there's some of this, I know myself and I'll become petty and I just got to let it go because I'll go crazy.
But no, the actual rule. What do you think the rule should be?
Someone is uncomfortable in the middle, smush. Please.
No, the middle on a plane because there are 3 seats. That's understood.
Do you mean like cup holders and armrests?
No, but if you're at the movies, is it your right hand? Because you're sharing an armrest, but they're sharing an armrest with somebody.
I always go right. Is that wrong?
And you can't share with someone you don't know, like elbow to elbow at the
that's
movies.
Weird.
That's weird.
That's the way a rom-com starts.
Okay, the pandemic hit a lot of people pretty hard, including, oh boy, Al, the Girl Scouts.
Ooh.
Al texted me about this yesterday.
Like the Girl Scouts. Al doesn't know
delete
where the money is going.
Speaking of a business model.
Now, the organization says it has 15 million boxes of unsold Girl Scout cookies. Typically, they say they sell almost 200 million boxes, but this past year they missed the mark because of the pandemic. So what are they doing with the cookies? Apparently, they're not for individual sale, but if you're interested, you can buy them. They'll be donated to first responders and food banks.
I didn't get that. You can buy them and they'll be donated?
You literally, it's like a
them.
donation. You buy them for the first responders to have.
Oh, so they're not just going to give them to the first responders. Guess they don't care that much about Thin Mints, huh? Listen, this is a sham. I don't care if I lose my job. I will not continue to do this. We are all parading. This is nonsense. This is the only business that can have little girls stroll onto somebody's property and just sell. What if those girls were selling hammers or Oreos? They would be, you would call and be like, where are their parents? This one company is allowed to have little children that they do not pay, and they barely pay taxes, if any, and they're allowed to just have
Are you saying it's like child
children.
labor?
What other job? If I had a construction company and I just sent some five-year-olds over to your house at noon to sign some paperwork, would you be fine with that? Why do Girl Scouts get to have this? Because they get patches?
I was a former Girl Scout.
Where's the money?
Well,
Where's the money?
I'm just saying I learned a lot about organization.
And not finance.
All right, Lindsay, where is the money? This is Al saying where we all spend money on Thin Mints, Samoas, the peanut butter Tagalogs. Where's the money?
Well, I think we all spent money on everything while we were locked down. If you had it to spare, we went online on Amazon. So how come when they were selling their cookies on Grubhub this recent season, they weren't able to sell their boxes? I'm wondering where the money is too.
Okay, so now we got two.
I'll shut up. Just where's the money?
Okay, well, we are being told money goes to local scout
Oh,
groups.
and I have screenshots that I can send right to the Yeah, I do this for a living.
Wow. Not anymore. Coming up
I'm
on
taking
TV.
them down.
Wow.
Crime Syndicate.
You're the worst. Matthew McConaughey. Yes, you heard me right. He is joining us. He's getting personal about his incredible memoir and fatherhood. Do not go away, and please write us in about the Girl Scouts.
Closed captioning provided by
What is now a collection of parades, parties, and concerts began with a clash between the LGBTQ community and New York police. In June 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay bar in Greenwich Village, claiming the property had violated liquor laws. As police officers began making arrests, those remaining gathered outside. At this point in history, homosexuality was still considered a criminal offense, and it was common for police to raid bars like Stonewall. But this raid led to a nighttime riot. Over the next 6 days, thousands took to the streets in protest. In 1970, on the first anniversary of the police raid at Stonewall, activists organized the Christopher Street Liberation Day March, the start of the city's first Gay Pride Week. Fast forward to 1999, then President Bill Clinton became the first to issue an executive order, recognizing June as Pride Month. And that's connecting the dots.
All right. Oh, Christ. How you doing?
How you doing? That was Matthew McConaughey playing Wooderson in Dazed and Confused 28 years ago, if you want to feel old. Earlier, we spoke to Matthew about his memoir, Green Lights, his rise to fame. It was Today's Chatting with the Stars.
Welcome to DBL. And Matthew, I gotta ask you, how often do people say that iconic line from Dazed and Confused to you, and does it drive you just a little bit crazy or no?
It doesn't bother me because those are the very first 3 words I said in the summer of 1992 on the very first scene of the very first night I got to act in my life. Wow. I didn't know if that was going to be one night in the summer of 92 I got to work and go, hey, I remember that one time I got to act. That was the beginning of what turned into a career 30 years later that I love. So when people say it, it's a callback to how I began. I like it.
Beautifully said. So speaking of Dazed and Confused, is it true, I mean, I read your book, but to our viewers out there, is it true that you sort of stumbled into that role?
I would say sort of stumbled, meaning I did not wake up the morning that I met the casting director, Don Phillips, at the top of the Hyatt in Austin, Texas, which is the bar I met him at. I didn't wake up that morning thinking, tonight I know I'm going to go find the guy who's in town casting a movie. I happened to go to the right bar at the right time, introduce myself. Later on, about 3 hours later, he asked if I'd ever done any acting. I said I was in a Miller Lite commercial for like this long and a Trisha Yearwood video for like this long. And he goes, you might be right for the part. Come to this address, pick up the script. I did. I got the part. 3 lines turned into 3 weeks' work. Some things definitely fell in front of me, and good fortune happened, and I did the best I could.
Matthew, I loved your book, Green Lights, and your honesty, your optimism, and even your vulnerability is something I truly admire as a person. Where did all that come from? Is it a culmination of all of your life experiences? But how did you get that way at such a young age?
Sure. Well, I've been keeping a diary and journal since I was 14 years old. So I finally got the courage to go get 36 years of journaling and take it away to the desert on my own and see what the hell I had. And it's what was there, you know, and I decided to just be as honest and transparent as possible in things that I went through, the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly, and lay it all out there. And hopefully people are seeing their stories in mine and seeing themselves in me. And we're all seeing how, hey, we're all on this big rodeo called life together trying to get our 8 seconds.
I love that.
I dig it.
Where is he, by the way? Can we ask you where you are? Are you in a trailer? Are you in a rocket ship?
Yeah,
what is this?
Very close. This particular trailer is called the Smithsonian. I have 4 Airstreams. This is my crown jewel, and I use it as my office. We got a world map over here, galley on the right. So this is in my backyard. I'm in my trailer. This is my 36-foot Airstream.
That's a rodeo.
That's a good look, man. And first of all, before we go any further, this is Al here. I go by Al. Do you prefer Matt or Matthew?
Oh, we can answer that. If you read his book, you can answer that. We know. Your mom didn't want you compared to a doormat, right?
I got my first butt whooping for answering to Matt. Yeah. So I answered to Matt. No, my mom's over there on the porch.
I love her.
She's still, you know, she's still the mother. She'll come over here at 90 years old and said, what'd you answer to? I named you Matthew for a reason, boy.
I love it. You're never famous to your mama. That's beautiful. Now, you know, my favorite rapper, without a doubt, is Jay-Z, and he has a song called You Gotta Learn to Live with Regrets. And I wonder, did that apply to you when you took a big risk in saying no to doing romantic comedies and the big paycheck that goes with it? Now, you had a lot of success doing rom-coms, and then you won an Oscar. So is there a movie that you passed on that you now kind of regret?
Well said, Al.
Well, for the 2 years after romantic comedies, when I decided to take off from rom-coms, which I was doing very well on those, I received no offers but rom-coms. So after a while, I just quit reading them and ask my agent to just say no. I'll go back earlier in my career, though. Right after A Time to Kill, I did get offered a role in L.A. Confidential. You remember that? The late Curtis Hanson directed that. Yeah. And I passed. And if there's one movie I've got in my career that I look at and I go, ooh, I'd have liked to have been in that. Yeah. It would have been L.A. Confidential.
Interesting.
Great movie.
Maybe time for reboot.
Guy Pearce, very good movie.
I know. Well, we're going to continue our combo with Matthew McConaughey and learn about something he has in store just in time for Father's Day. We'll be right back.
fashion experts are noticing an interesting trend, the return of high heels. Let's connect the dots. When the world went into quarantine, dressy shoes got shoved to the back of the closet. Crocs and Birkenstocks made a big comeback as many of us chose comfort over looks. But with more people returning to work and traveling, heels are once again flying off store shelves. Experts say they're seeing a noticeable increase in the sale of dress shoes. And get this, there's now a real concern if there will be enough supply for all the demand. Google searches for heels are skyrocketing, and it's not just any old heel. Designer footwear is in high demand. Popular fashion designer Manolo Blahnik announced he's bringing back 5-inch heels, something he hasn't sold in years. A sign that as we return to normal, we're once again sacrificing comfort for style. And that is connecting the dots.
We are continuing our chat with Oscar-winning actor and author Matthew McConaughey. So you write a lot about your family in green lights. By the way, I have my copy of the book. Love it. Your parents had a sometimes volatile relationship. They were divorced twice, married 3 times, but they did have a lot of passion for each other, a lot of love. So what's something, Matthew, from their marriage that you've tried to emulate or avoid in yours?
Oh. Well, I don't, Camilla, I don't like as rocky of a relationship as my mom and dad had. Like I said, they were divorced twice, married 3 times. I don't think we need to go through that to come out and say we did it like my mom and dad did. But that's how they communicated. You know, one thing they practice, which we try to practice in our family, is never go to bed with a grudge. No matter if you're upset with you, go to bed with a kiss and a hug goodnight. Whether it's the kids, whether it's me, whether it's Camilla, you don't go to bed with a grudge. We're going to hash it out right now. We're going to forgive it. We're going to forget it. And tomorrow morning, we're going to start anew. You know, it's a challenge in all relationships. What do you need to really sit down and have a long discussion on? And what do you need to just look at and go, you know what? I was in a bad mood. Forget that. Let's just move on. My mom and dad were very good at not holding grudges upon each other. And also sense of humor in their relationship and with each other was really important. And I witnessed a lot of that. I witnessed them laugh things off that instead of making a big deal of certain things, which was healthy for their relationship, which I try to maintain in mine.
Matthew, first I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. It's around the corner. You're the father of 3 beautiful children. But I got to tell you a quick story.
Yes.
Before I left this morning, I go to my kids. I have a 2- and a 4-year-old. And my wife was very impressed that we were interviewing Matthew McConaughey. My kids not so much. And I go, do you know who Matthew McConaughey is? That's Buster Moon. Now I'm the coolest dad in Colorado.
Buster.
I gotta tell you that. So thanks for that. My kids love you. We love you. And but I got to get to your father though. He did.
That's the only way my kids know that their dad's in the movies because of Buster Moon. They hadn't seen any of the other stuff I did.
Kids love it. Kids love it. But unfortunately, Matthew, your father passed away before you achieved success in Hollywood. How does he continue to inspire you? Because you talk so much about him in your book.
Yeah. Well, work ethic. He was a great. I miss him because he would have loved working on scripts and characters with me. He would have loved that. There's some serendipity in his passing away. He was not alive for me to see my success that I took on in the career of acting, but he lived 5 days into my first role. And I've always seen that as a really graceful timing, that my father was alive during the time that I found what would be my life's passion, during the time I found what would be more than a hobby, during the time that I found what would be a career that I would take on. So I always felt like that was very graceful, divine timing that he lived and overlapped me finding what I wanted to do. I have conversations with him all the time, spiritually and talk to him like he's around here. I miss him. He would have really enjoyed breaking down scripts, talking about stories, and talking story with me.
Before we go, Matthew, I have to share with you that your book has really impacted my brother-in-law, Eric Dellenbach, who's known now in the medical community as the sickest COVID patient to survive. So he's been in the hospital, Matthew, for 5 months now, recently had to get a double lung transplant because of COVID. He's having a hard time, and your book has been a huge source of motivation for him to keep going. Could you share some words of encouragement for Eric?
Beautiful, Eric. Hey, just keep living, man. I mean, we all have these circumstances, and it's not about what's fair or not about what we deserve or not. Life deals us different hands at different times, and we got two ways we can look at it. We can sit there and battle through and look around at our nearest loved ones around us and love them even more and let ourselves be loved by them even more. But deal with it day to day. It'll all. I got my hunch is all the hardships will make sense one day, either in this life or the next one. If we can trust in that and have hope and look immediately around at the people in the hearts that love us, and just turn up the notch on that, on letting you being able to receive that love and also being able to give it out, and that's I think as good as we can do.
Beautifully said.
Amen to that, brother.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Matthew, for that. Your book is, like I said.
Got the whole panel crying up here.
Yeah. You guys have to check out Green Lights, because let me tell you, like I said, not only has it helped me, Jeff, but also my brother-in-law. It is out now. Trust me, you got to find it on Amazon, wherever books are sold. Get yourself a copy. You can also pre-order your very own Green Lights journal. Find out all the details at greenlights.com.
Also, that audio version, Matthew, killed it. Loved it.
Matthew, we appreciate you more than you know. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great day, honey.
Great talking to you. Happy Father's Day, everyone out there. Enjoy it. See you in the next one. Let's do the best we can.
Yes. Thank you, Matthew.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In 2020, many Americans applied for unemployment for the first time, and we've received several questions from you asking about the validity of this letter that people are receiving from the IRS, saying they're getting a refund from their taxes. So we want to verify, is the IRS mailing people about refunds on taxed unemployment? With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We spoke with Clay Sanford, a spokesman for the IRS. When you file for unemployment, the money you receive is normally taxable income. But this March, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan. This stimulus bill made any unemployment compensation from 2020 tax-free.
It's helping people out. It's giving them a break to get some money back.
The IRS said in May that there are more than 10 million Americans who filed their taxes before March 11th, when the stimulus bill was passed. If you're one of those people, you could get money back.
In other words, it's not, some people may think that it's a refund of $10,200, but it's not a refund. It's actually taking that out for figuring tax.
Sanford says it's important to note this notice should physically come in the mail and not electronically. If you got an email, it's likely a scam.
Any kind of an unsolicited email that's about your tax account is not going to happen.
So we can verify. Yes, the IRS is mailing refunds to people who claimed unemployment benefits as income and filed their taxes before the American Rescue Plan was passed. If you filed electronically with your bank info, the IRS says don't worry about getting something in the mail, they'll just deposit the money right into your account.
DBL is your daytime destination.
Fully agree with this.
We're chatting with the stars.
Have you checked in on Lori Loughlin?
You must have read my mind. I've never felt better or been in a better place in my life. I think the director yelled cut.
And talking about what everyone is talking about.
It's a real thing.
And I thought it was great.
I'm here for it.
Why is anybody surprised?
I tell you what, polarizing for sure.
DBL is all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. Did you know consumers lost nearly $75 million to travel fraud since the start of the pandemic? The Federal Trade Commission says travel scams are the second most reported scam right now. Now, there are more than 40,000 reports since January 2020. With COVID-19 restrictions loosening, it's just a good reminder to be cautious when making travel plans. Look out for fake flight deals and booking agents. Scammers are also creating fake websites that consumers are falling for. So again, if a deal seems unrealistic, it likely is. Now, if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more.
And I reached out to a friend of mine to check if something was a scam, because I get a ton of those. We'd like to advertise on your Facebook page emails, like a ton. They're like, oh, we'll pay you $500 for $2. And it's just they want to just get your login and then spam your friends.
Dang. We got a lot of people writing in about your Girl Scouts. And Laura Whitehorn from Facebook says this.
It's a great name.
I know. The Girl Scouts could donate cookies directly to organizations to take a tax deduction. I think buying cookies to donate is BS.
I'm just saying.
Are you changing people's minds?
Where's the money? It's like, and that's the beautiful thing about what they have going on is you feel like you're attacking little girls. You're not. You're just like, where's the money? Show me the money.
Wow. We will go deeper on this never. DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The rogue reporter who secretly recorded her bosses gets fired. Were those recordings worth sabotaging her career?
Well, all the hardships will make sense one day.
An update on Matthew McConaughey's inspiring message to Sam's brother-in-law. The reaction from Eric you do not want to miss.
Not only has it helped me, Jeff, but also my brother.
The Colorado STEM school shooter is found guilty of murder today. The father of the young victim is here to share his thoughts on the verdict. And in today's True Crime Chronicles, Cellmate Secrets, the story of Joyce Mitchell, a prisoner who helped convicted killers escape.
I can't begin to explain how sorry I am for all this.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, June 16th. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Tori, and Al. Okay, we got to talk about yesterday because yesterday was, if you watched the show, very powerful. We had the best conversation with Matthew McConaughey, and he did me and my family a really big favor by recording an inspirational message for my brother-in-law. You guys all have heard about Eric. He's still in the hospital. He's been there for over 5 months, had a double lung transplant due to COVID. Well, last night, Eric, my brother-in-law, got to see what Matthew McConaughey said to him. Take a look. Could you share some words of encouragement for Eric?
Beautiful, Eric. Hey, just keep living, man. I mean, we all have these circumstances, and it's not about what's fair or not about what we deserve or not. You know, life deals us different at different times, and how we got to. Not only
Thanks, Matthew.
Jeff,
That's
but
so
also
cool.
my brother.
I did read your book and it was awesome.
Trust me, you gotta find it on
And it got you through some tough times, didn't it? One of the healthiest guys in the world. Surfer, snowboarder. All right, honey. You've got this, baby. Love you. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew.
That's amazing. It's just so hard for us to, like, even for me to see that, like, it's, you never would think this would happen to your family, right? When COVID happened a year ago and the pandemic happened, you know, we never thought that COVID would take 6 months of my brother's life plus, because he's still in the hospital, and his lungs. But there is so many silver linings, so many. And you said that to me in the very beginning when I could not see any silver linings because we didn't know if Eric was going to survive. Well, he has survived. He's alive. And he has 2 new lungs. And he has Matthew McConaughey reaching out. You guys supporting him. This show, our viewers, prayers from all over the world. And Eric feels that. When I talked to him on the phone last night, and he can barely speak because, you know, he was, when you're in a hospital bed for 6 months, and 4 of those months he was in a coma, all your muscles atrophy, including your
vocal cord.
Yeah, so
right.
you have to learn to talk again. You have to, you know, he had a trach, which is like the tracheotomy for so long that, you know, since that's been removed, he can kind of speak again. So he's building all of that up. But when I talked to him last night, he was just like, he started to cry and he just stopped talking. And Erica was there, my sister, and Erica said, Eric, what is it? Like, what is it, honey? And he said he just cannot believe all these people support him. He cannot believe it. Yeah. So many silver linings.
I just have to say, I know for our audience and us, that was the very first time I've heard Eric speak, and with brand new air from brand new lungs. And that was pretty emotional just to hear him say anything, Sam. So that's a silver lining in itself.
I know.
Really nice to see.
He's going to do big things. Like, I think his story is going to, I think he's going to always want to inspire people and share his story. And he already has like a network of people that have COVID, are already on transplant lists. Like, COVID's not gone. There's people in the hospital right now that are on the transplant list, hoping and praying that they get the shot to have new organs. So.
Yeah, Sam, I think you said something really important backstage when you said that this is not just Eric. This is going to be a lot of the country as people are starting to get their bodies back.
Long haulers.
There's long haulers that I actually know two people kind of in my extended universe that just have trouble walking up the stairs every day. And if you're 30, are you going to live like that for the rest of your life? So we are going to see a lot of people with transplants, and they are going to need some motivation saying, hey, Eric, that guy looks like me, he lives like me, and now look at him.
He's doing it.
Now that can happen too. So I think this is bigger than just Eric, and that's crazy to say because just this enough is enough. So just a real miracle.
Very powerful. And I mean, what a great guy, Matthew McConaughey, to do that. And that side by side.
What a mensch. What a mensch.
Thank you, Matthew. Honestly, you gave Eric the pep in his step and the motivation to keep going. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And thank you to our show and to all of you for being so supportive, and to the viewers. Honestly, you guys have been our lifeline. Okay, so exhale, Sam. Yesterday, we talked about a Houston reporter named Ivory Hecker who went rogue on live TV. So Ivory accused the local Fox station where she worked of muzzling her and keeping viewers from stories that she thought mattered to them. Now we're learning what it was that she felt muzzled from reporting on. Here's some of those secret recordings released by the far-right group Project Veritas.
I want out of this narrative news telling. I want out of this corruption.
I have passed on Bitcoin stories by almost every single reporter for our 5 o'clock audience because that's not our 5 o'clock audience.
To cease and desist posting about hydroxychloroquine. In my opinion, you failed as a reporter to not know more if you were going to post about hydroxychloroquine, that you didn't look it up and look at the latest post, the latest research about it.
Wow. If you don't know, Bitcoin is a popular digital currency. Fox 26 has responded, calling Hecker a disgruntled former employee, and claimed that these secret recordings used selective editing to misrepresent newsroom bosses. So what do you guys we always want to hear from you. What do you think of Ivory blowing up her job like she did, Jeff?
It's her prerogative, right? It's her job to lose. I mean, I don't think it's a great personal choice. I think you could have got your narrative out in a different way. But everyone's being silenced these days. I know some more than others. But if you have an agenda, and especially a far right or far left agenda, you're going to be silenced. Take the big ones, for example, Fox News and CNN. They're both silencing stories, and they're both pushing their agenda, whether you like to think it or not. If you're on the left side, no, they're not. CNN's just delivering the news. No, they're not. They have an agenda to push. If you're on the right side, Fox News is pushing an agenda, and that's what they're doing. We need a news outlet that's somewhere in the middle telling people, like this show, I feel like, does a good job of balancing
and that's my
things
point,
out.
and that's why I'm going to push back a little bit on you. There are places that you can be silenced for that kind of talk. For a reporter that's supposed to be fair and balanced with the news, but also if you work at Chase or you work at Wendy's, people might not want to see that. And if you're representing somebody's company, they might not want that on your personal page. She was out of pocket in talking about that when they were talking about the heat. The heat could kill somebody's grandmother. That could do real damage, especially to a state that just went through that. So that was where my pushback was. If she wants to talk about left-right politics, that's what YouTube page is for.
Yeah, first of all, she's a reporter.
Come
There's some misinformation about hydrochloroquine or whatever it may be. Hydroxychloroquine. You cannot just spew whatever you want to spew. There's a reason why your bosses are saying you cannot spew that, because we need to give our viewers the correct amount of information.
Yeah, learn what journalism is.
That's a part of the internet problem. I'm sorry. You see a click headline and you think you know everything.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Wow. I wish we had more time to talk about that. Coming up on DBL, Loughlin resurfaces in a graduation video, of all places. Talk about ironic. Plus, a record-setting heat wave is blasting parts of the country. So what does that heat do to your overall health? Dr. Pialcoli is joining us with the answer. And next, one day after a school shooter's conviction, we are talking with the father of a heroic young man who put his life on the line to save his classmates from more bloodshed. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
What is now a collection of parades, parties, and concerts began with a clash between the LGBTQ community and New York police. In June 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay bar in Greenwich Village, claiming the property had violated liquor laws. As police officers began making arrests, those remaining gathered outside. At this point in history, homosexuality was still considered a criminal offense, and it was common for police to raid bars like Stonewall. But this raid led to a nighttime riot. Over the next 6 days, thousands took to the streets in protest. In 1970, on the first anniversary of the police raid at Stonewall, activists organized the Christopher Street Liberation Day March, the start of the city's first Gay Pride Week. Fast forward to 1999, then President Bill Clinton became the first to issue an executive order, recognizing June as Pride Month. And that's connecting the dots.
Kendrick was always like just a lovable kid. He was always concerned about other people. I remember once when he started pre-K, a kid was dropped off and wasn't used to that and was clinging on to his mom and crying, and Kendrick got up from his mat and went over and hugged him and said, it's gonna be okay. You know, he was my best friend, and he was the love of his mother's life. He was the 18-year-old kid that before he would go to bed would go into our room and reach down and give his mom a kiss on the forehead.
Wow. Welcome back to DBL. That was John Castillo talking with Jeff about his son, Kendrick Castillo, who lost his life when he tackled a school shooter here in Colorado back in 2019. That school shooter was found guilty yesterday on 46 counts, including the first-degree murder of Kendrick Castillo. He faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Joining us now is Kendrick's father, John Castillo. John, thank you so much for being here again. Listen, your son is an American hero, but at the same time, he shouldn't have had to have been an American hero. Clearly, he saved many people's lives that day, but he should still be here today. Now, you were in court yesterday when the verdict was read. What went through your mind when you heard them say guilty?
Oh, you know, I wanted to shout. I had so much joy. You know, it's we waited for over 2 years. We've been impacted by COVID and so many other things that have pushed this justice off. I mean, hearing that was amazing, but sitting there and hearing count after count that, you know, he's guilty on all charges was just enormous and like a breath of fresh air, like weights taken off of us, really.
John, it's good to talk to you again, my friend. And the word justice in this case, you're never going to get Kendrick back. And I know, you know, when we talked last, it was on a sad occasion. It's always going to be sad. But I hope you smile today. I hope your wife smiles today. I hope your family and your community smiles today, because that was a good thing that happened. Justice was served, even though you're not going to get Kendrick back. So you have to take this as a victory. Am I right?
No, absolutely. It was a huge victory. I mean, waiting and anticipating and coming up to this moment, I can't even begin to tell you what it means for justice for Kendrick. It's another hurdle in steps moving forward that we are glad took place, and we were able to have jurors who listened to testimony evidence and felt, you know, the same way that we did. And it's just an amazing day. And you're right. I mean, we'll never get Kendrick back. I mean, that's at the end of the day, even with, you know, all of the convictions that were read out and the other families and all that are involved. I mean, we're never going to get Kendrick back. You know, we drove from the courthouse right to where he's buried last night and talked to his headstone. And that's the reality of this. You know, it's in some ways it seems so surreal or almost like you should be watching a movie or something like that. But this is real life. This is our lives now, and never getting our son back, but knowing that he's an American hero.
Absolutely. Absolutely he is, John. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a little touchy, and I appreciate you going there with me on this question. You and your wife were there the whole trial, and some of the defense's arguments are hard to talk about. They said that Kendrick was the aggressor. I want to know how you felt about that and how you dealt with sitting there hearing that.
Oh, you know, I felt angry, as any parent would when you're sitting there and you know the heroic actions of your son that day and others in that classroom that saved lives. And you have a defense that is painting a very different picture of what they perceive, and listening to them say that Kendrick charged with aggression towards the murderer, the killer, trying to really spin it as if he was the criminal in this instead of the hero. You know, it just makes you want to jump out of your seat. You know, I see when I watch court television how families can get so involved in that. But you know, we're a civil society, we're loving people, and that's not how we handle things. We restrain that anger, that emotion, and we pray, we hope for justice, and that's what we got. And the outcome was amazing. But yeah, it's very, very difficult. And you know, it's even harder for me to imagine that there are people in the world who, for either fame or money, enter into a realm to defend such demonic and evil killers.
I hear that.
I don't want to spend one more second talking about the defense for that animal. I'd like to talk about the important person here, and that's Kendrick. What do you think my man would feel about this verdict?
You know, I think he would be overjoyed. I mean, I think that he would be proud of his mom and dad yesterday for never giving up. You know, being the first ones through the door and the last ones to leave in many instances, driving, you know, doing whatever we have to do to make sure that justice was met for Kendrick. I think that he was with us. I think he was with the jurors. I think, you know, the prosecution team was amazing. I cannot say enough about them. The sheriff's department. There are so many heroes and so many good people that embodied Kendrick's life and spirit that helped us get to the point that we were at yesterday. And, you know, I just believe that Kendrick was with every one of them. And when I give the statement and I say, live, be like Kendrick, that's exactly what I mean. It's do your job well. If you're like Detective Pereira, who didn't skip a beat when he was interviewing the murderers to make sure that things were followed up correctly. I mean, that's a man that you would hope under normal circumstances would just be doing their job, but I think it was exceptional, as we saw in video of the interviews shortly after the shooting. And then the DA's office, I mean, just every one of the attorneys that spoke and, you know, delivered after a testimony and cross-examined. I mean, they did it flawlessly. They held up against the defense. Everything could not have been more perfect.
John.
And again, I think that attributes.
Amen. Live like Kendrick. That's the takeaway here. Your son is a hero, and may us all be inspired to live like Kendrick. Thank you so much, John, for being with us and sharing Kendrick's story. We'll be right back with Dr. Coley. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Fashion experts are noticing an interesting trend, the return of high heels. Let's connect the dots. When the world went into quarantine, dressy shoes got shoved to the back of the closet. Crocs and Birkenstocks made a big comeback as many of us chose comfort over looks. But with more people returning to work and traveling, heels are once again flying off store shelves. Experts say they're seeing a noticeable increase in the sale of dress shoes. And get this, there's now a real concern if there will be enough supply for all the demand. Google searches for heels are skyrocketing, and it's not just any old heel. Designer footwear is in high demand. Popular fashion designer Manolo Blahnik announced he's bringing back 5-inch heels, something he hasn't sold in years. A sign that as we return to normal, we're once again sacrificing comfort for style. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. We are just a few days away from official summer, and right now the forecast is only getting hotter for much of the U.S. So our own medical expert, Dr. Pyle Coley, joining us live. So we've got some questions from DBL Nation, okay, Dr. Coley, about some health topics that are big in the news right now. So our first one is from Candace, and she's wondering about the heat too. She says it's not even officially summer, and this heat wave is intense. Can these extra high temperatures affect our health, Dr. Coley?
Yes, they can, Candace. And every time I go outside, I think about how hot it is, and I think about the effects on my health. So there's direct effects. It can cause, heat stroke, heat illness, dehydration. There's also indirect effects, actually. It can increase your risk from chronic conditions like heart disease and kidney problems, diabetes. And it can affect, as you guys know, our power, our water supply, our access to care. So the heat has been tough on all of us, and we have to be extra mindful of our health this year.
All right, Doc. Malcolm asks, I heard that this June there are more COVID-19 hospitalizations than there were last June. How's that possible, Doc?
Yeah, this caught me off guard too, you guys, because we have all these vaccinations, so we would expect less people in the hospital. But two big things are different this year. Number one, our behavior. We are having parties, we're getting together, we're seeing each other. Number two, and more importantly though, Malcolm, is the fact that there's these new variants, which are now dominant here in the United States. They're more contagious, and they can end you up more in the hospital. So it's just a sobering reminder to all of us, as much as we want it to be over, the pandemic is not quite yet over.
I appreciate that. All right, Tony wants to know, CNN anchor Christiane Amanpour just announced her ovarian cancer to raise awareness. Tony wants to know, who is the most high risk for that specific disease?
I'm so glad you asked, Tony, because most of the ovarian cancer is diagnosed late, greater than 75%. And early diagnosis is key to good prognosis. So all of us women, let's think about all the women in our life. And Jeff, you think about all the women in your life. And we really have to think about who's high risk. And high risk are people who've had breast cancer before, people who've never given birth, people who are older, and people who have genetic conditions like BRCA1, BRCA2, or Lynch syndrome, and then those who have endometriosis. So the idea here, ladies, is that when the ovary ovulates, gives off an egg, it breaks through the surface of the ovary, and that can cause damage. So anytime you stop ovulation, like with birth control, with breastfeeding, or with pregnancy, you actually reduce your risk of ovarian cancer. So think about all the women in your lives and assess their risk.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say anything, Dr. Coley, so I'm being muzzled.
Oh, sorry, Al, I didn't even see you over there.
I've been waiting to say it on this show for a while.
Did you know
I have recordings.
You know what she just said? She goes, oh, I didn't even see you, Al.
Oh, wow, that was a
Love you, Dr. Coley.
Love you, Doc.
We'll be right back.
Bye.
That was good.
Love you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In 2020, many Americans applied for unemployment for the first time, and we've received several questions from you asking about the validity of this letter that people are receiving from the IRS, saying they are getting a refund from their taxes. So we want to verify, is the IRS mailing people about refunds on taxed unemployment? With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We spoke with Clay Sanford, a spokesman for the IRS. When you file for unemployment, the money you receive is normally taxable income. But this March, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan. This stimulus bill made any unemployment compensation from 2020 tax-free.
It's helping people out. It's giving them a break to get some money back.
The IRS said in May that there are more than 10 million Americans who filed their taxes before March 11th, when the stimulus bill was passed. If you're one of those people, you could get money back.
In other words, it's not, some people may think that it's a refund of $10,200, but it's not a refund. It's actually taking that out for figuring tax.
Sanford says it's important to note this notice should physically come in the mail and not electronically. If you got an email, it's likely a scam.
Any kind of an unsolicited email that's about your tax account is not going to happen.
So we can verify. Yes, the IRS is mailing refunds to people who claimed unemployment benefits as income and filed their taxes before the American Rescue Plan was passed. If you filed electronically with your bank info, the IRS says don't worry about getting something in the mail, they'll just deposit the money right into your account.
DBL is your daytime destination.
Fully agree with this.
We're chatting with the stars.
Have you checked in on Loughlin?
You must have read my mind. I've never felt better or been in a better place in my life. I think the director yelled cut.
And talking about what everyone is talking about.
It's a real thing.
And I thought it was great.
I'm here for it.
Why is anybody surprised?
I tell you what, polarizing for sure.
DBL is all new every day.
Coming up on DBL, a notorious jailbreak, a massive manhunt, and the woman who helped 2 convicts break free. That's in True Crime Chronicles. And Loughlin resurfaces in a graduation video. DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Tori, and Al. Let's get started. So there are many reasons to love living in the USA, but let's see if you agree with People Magazine's top reasons to love America. So according to People, the number 10 reason for loving America is Amanda Gorman. Number 9, the great outdoors. Number 8,
the movie?
The first gay Captain America. Marvel recently introduced the superhero as an LGBTQ teen. Number 7, Oprah. Number 6, America's mission to Mars. Number 5, Independence Day or the 4th of July.
Ooh.
Number 4, our ability to pivot. Or how businesses and schools were able to change and adapt during the pandemic. Number 3, Dolly Parton. Number 2, vaccines. And the number 1 reason to love America is The Rock. What do you guys think about that?
I think this list was made by one person. We're going to get some emails about this list.
The Rock is I love me, The Rock, but the number 1 reason to love America is The Rock?
How about freedom?
Yeah, I know.
And the things that we have in this country. If people have seen a map of what the rest of the world looks like and things to complain about, the things we complain about in this country are ridiculous at this point. When you go around the country and you see the poverty and the way that they are governed and what we have here, you should not be complaining. And The Rock should not be number 1, even though I love him.
I agree, and let me just say this. I can say this. I really don't like my government sometimes. Because I can say that on television is why I like America. Because I'm not jailed right now. You nailed it. It's freedom, and you shouldn't put that aside for The Rock, although I do love him. Go, DJ.
But it was People magazine, so they're doing what they do. This is their demographic.
But that's what surprised me, Sam. This is like French fries didn't make it? Just something big. The Super Bowl.
They're not Bon Appetit magazine. They're People magazine.
But everybody loves French fries, and French fries are associated with our country. We started that. Sorry.
It begins with French.
We didn't start French fries.
We did.
No,
yes,
we didn't.
I've been all over the world. Their fries are not as good as ours.
That's terribly wrong.
I'm straight up.
Yeah, okay.
Come at me, Sweden. No, who has better fries?
Oh, Canada. Poutine.
Oh, he's right.
Yeah,
Poutine
but
is
you,
good.
yes.
Dip 'em in gravy.
Yeah, but everything's better if you dump gravy on it. I mean, I'm in the middle of my workday. Now I'm going with regular fries.
Oh, how cute. Arash, our producer, said, what about plaid with stripes?
Oh,
hey!
For people at home,
Look,
they can't tell that Sam is dressed like 2 different oven mitts.
No, it's a Beetlejuice. It's a Tim Burton look. It's a Gwen Stefani.
It's my Moira Rose.
That's it.
If you've seen Schitt's Creek, you know that Moira Rose tends to dress similar to
her bebes.
Mm-hmm. You know you
dressed
like
a frustrated 13-year-old. You are.
What?
You're dressed like a frustrated 13-year-old.
It's
like acting out against their parents.
A blouse like
We're
this
on
with
a
a pussy
TV
bow?
show. Yeah, Sam, they don't go together.
They do actually. It's a 90s look.
You're dressed like a highlighter. How can you tell her anything?
Every time I wear this outfit, you say something that's so mean.
Maybe that's a sign you should stop.
Trying to see if anybody's defending my outfit. No. Okay. We have an update on Chrissy Teigen's ongoing bullying saga. As we've been talking about, Chrissy recently apologized for her past cyberbullying and called herself a, quote, troll. Well, one of her targets was Project Runway designer Michael Costello, who recently said he thought about taking his own life after Chrissy called him a racist on Twitter. So now singer Leona Lewis is calling out Michael for making her feel uncomfortable during a dress fitting for a fashion show. She said Michael and his team refused to alter a dress to fit her, so she was forced to sit out the show. In a lengthy Instagram post, she said the experience left her feeling embarrassed and deeply hurt, saying, quote, I was left with deep insecurities after this, and I've had to work hard over the years to love my body. Leona also said while she doesn't condone bullying, she believes Chrissy deserves to be forgiven. Wow.
I got a lot of flack, just so you know, yesterday for what I said when I went strong at Chrissy, and I really loved Chrissy, but people came back saying, have you seen the update to this story? And I do want to say, I appreciate that we got more context to it, and I appreciate we're following up. I still don't think anyone
This has nothing to do with Chrissy.
Exactly.
Why
We're
can't
talking
we
about an
separate
update.
it?
That's not an update to the story. This is over here.
Thank you.
Chrissy Teigen told someone to go kill themselves. Not fitting you for a runway fashion show has nothing to do with Chrissy Teigen telling people to go kill themselves. We're deflecting and distracting on what happened. If you tell me to go kill myself and then you told someone because you were having a bad day to get out of their way, that is no excuse for what you told me. And that's exactly what you're making for Chrissy Teigen.
First of all, I wasn't done talking because I don't think you should ever still say, go kill yourself. That's what I was about to finish with. I will say this, though. In some respects, it gives context as, was she protecting other women of color, other people of color, and was that the reason she spoke up so proudly and so angrily? Now, again, I think it's criminal, literally criminal in court, to tell someone to go kill themselves to a point that people have done it. They've killed themselves. So I completely agree with you. But I think context is important in these type of stories.
If that was maybe a sole incident, incident, first of all, your answer to stick up for somebody shouldn't be telling someone to go kill themselves.
Amen. I completely agree.
There.
I agree.
But If this was a sole incident, sure, maybe it would provide a little bit more nuance for the conversation. But considering that Chrissy has so many, and this is coming from a fan of Chrissy, not so much anymore, and I do hope that she has some sort of road to redemption. I always hope that for everybody. However, what Chrissy did was wrong, and she has a pattern of behavior of telling many people to kill themselves, not just protecting.
No, she was a real troll.
Lewis, if that was even the case.
Right, and you know what? It's all about your brand because, you know, we've seen, who's the talk show? Wendy Williams, she made like an off-color joke on her show, remember, about the person that jumped off their balcony. And in her audience didn't give her any love for that joke, but they certainly didn't leave because Wendy Williams has built a brand on pushing things to the edge. She does go over the edge sometimes, but she eats it, she accepts it. People come at her, she claps back. But when you set your brand that I am, like Jeff said yesterday so well, when you are, I am 100% right and I am righteous in everything, when this comes out, it's going to hit you way harder. It's just like the kids say, it hits different. It hits different when the person is supposed to be the online defender turns out to be one of the biggest perpetrators of bullying.
Wow, well said. Okay, so a dad surprised his daughter with an epic graduation video that featured a slew of celebrities. Take a look.
Mark Wahlberg here. I just wanted to slide into your high school graduation video and join everyone in offering our congratulations and wishing you all the best.
Bob Saget here, wishing you a lot of love and congratulations graduating from high school.
Congratulations on your big day.
She looks insane. Sorry, she does.
All right, did you catch that? Lori Loughlin also offered her congrats.
Tori's comment or the Lori Loughlin
I'm sorry, she did.
I don't know if they heard that, but yeah, she seemed a little...
I also think this is the weirdest thing to be putting yourself in a senior graduating video when you have been accused of cheating with your senior children. I mean, this whole thing to me seems like I'm being trolled by Lori Loughlin.
Like, stay away from that.
I just feel like this is a troll. We're being trolled by this. This is all a joke. How would she be in a graduation video?
It's because you live in a world with no repercussions. I mean, you think about what they did.
Well, she went to jail.
Yeah, she served her time.
9 days, 11 days.
No, she was in for months. She was in for more.
But think, she permanently diverted somebody else's path forever.
Yep.
Like if Lawson was gonna get that last seat, and some parent, not her, but some parent bought that seat, which it appears has been going on because you saw that movie for a long time.
Yeah, and the Netflix documentary.
Yes, his life is permanently different. He might not end up living in a ditch, but he did not get into that school, and it's going to affect the rest of his life. And for the fact that she can appear in that so cavalierly,
so weird.
It's off-putting to me.
Yeah.
It really is. It just shows that you kind of just don't see that you did anything wrong.
Well, I think she was doing a favor. I think she was doing a favor for somebody. Obviously, they're fans of Full House if Bob Saget's in
That's
there.
true.
It is definitely ironic.
That's fair.
But at what point, if you're Lori Loughlin, say, hey, I have to move on with my life. I served my time. What I did was definitely wrong. Everyone in my circle and community was doing the same thing. I'm just the most famous person who got caught.
Well, maybe don't go into a high school graduation senior video. That's the dumbest move you could do.
I totally agree, but when you get on with your life, you're doing a favor for a friend.
Skip the senior graduation stuff. It's just not up your lane.
Do a different favor. I bet she could do a million things to give back.
Put some money into it.
Maybe not a million, but
hey, Lori Loughlin, you want to come clean my house?
I think she could be the face
things.
of changing this obviously this exchange of money for seating at a college. She could be the face of reforming that.
Right.
Because this is a thing. Just because we know her, clear. I mean, other rich people. There was a wine merchant in there. Like this has been going on forever.
Forever.
So can we do so? Like how long? Where did this start?
It's still going on, even though you think it's not. It's still going on.
And
People are still buying
went away?
spots for their kids in some other way.
Completely agree with you. And she got her punishment and she served her time. I just think this was too ironic. You dipped your toe into something. Stay out of that lane.
But what if she wasn't meaning for it to get out? What if she's
was.
Like, what if I did a video for you?
It's Mark Wahlberg. Of course it's going to get out. That's a huge star.
She might not know
a publicist or a lawyer. What if I made a video for you and you threw me under the bus and pointed out for something stupid I did in the past, and now it's everywhere? And I did that as a favor for you.
I appreciate that, but I think there were enough celebrities in there to make that a story that would go viral.
You think we'd be doing a story on Bob Saget and Mark Wahlberg?
I'm saying she was.
Okay, we got
point winner.
No. Point loser.
Okay, coming up on DBL.
Kind of point
a jailbreak ripped from the headlines, you guys. 2 convicts and the female prison worker who helped them make a run for it. We're talking to another former inmate who says it played out. Next in True Crime Chronicles.
Closed captioning provided by
What is now a collection of parades, parties, and concerts began with a clash between the LGBTQ community and New York police. In June 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay bar in Greenwich Village, claiming the property had violated liquor laws. As police officers began making arrests, those remaining gathered outside. At this point in history, homosexuality was still considered a criminal offense, and it was common for police to raid bars like Stonewall. But this raid led to a nighttime riot. Over the next 6 days, thousands took to the streets in protest. In 1970, on the first anniversary of the police raid at Stonewall, activists organized the Christopher Street Liberation Day March, the start of the city's first Gay Pride Week. Fast forward to 1999, then President Bill Clinton became the first to issue an executive order, recognizing June as Pride Month. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It was one of the biggest manhunts in New York City history. 6 years ago, 2 convicts escaped with the help of a prison staffer. Now, a former inmate who watched it unfold is speaking out. Here's DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Richard, Matt, and David Sweat were 2 inmates convicted of first-degree murder in separate cases. They were serving their sentences at the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York. That's where they met Joyce Mitchell. She worked at the facility's tailor shop. The 3 quickly formed a bond, and Joyce became infatuated with the men and began having an affair. Meanwhile, Richard and David were planning an elaborate scheme to escape with the help of Joyce.
They wanted her, whether it be just for sex or for a favor. I think she got off on that.
Eric was an inmate at the time who also worked at the tailor shop with Joyce. He watched closely as the men seduced and manipulated Joyce in exchange for tools.
Joyce brought contraband into the facility.
She smuggled in blades and chisels by hiding them in frozen meat and would bribe security guards with baked goods to help her bypass the metal detectors. Using the tools, Richard and David worked for months during the middle of the night, sawing their way through, and even lost weight to fit through the tunnels. The scheme worked. Richard and David escaped by cutting through walls before exiting through a nearby manhole, where they planned to meet Joyce and hop in the getaway car.
Being on the lam with 2 escaped convicts, that might be exciting.
They were going to dump her as soon as they could.
Joyce got cold feet and never showed. The escape prompted one of the biggest manhunts in New York State history. Interstates shut down, nearby schools closed, and at one point, more than 500 officers were involved. As the search grew, Joyce was arrested and charged.
If I could take it all back, I would. I can't begin to explain how sorry I am for all this.
Almost a month after the escape, Richard was spotted in Franklin County. During a police confrontation, he was shot and killed.
This is the camper where Matt was hiding and where the police finally got him.
2 days later, a state trooper spots David walking just 1.5 miles from the Canadian border.
He was just about at the tree line.
He attempted to run off, prompting a state trooper to fire his gun. David was hit twice, but survived. Could they have done it without Joyce? and what was really in it for her.
Earlier, Eric and I spoke with Eric Jensen, and here's what he had to say.
We are here with Eric Jensen. Eric, thank you so much for joining us on DBL. This is such a fascinating story. You worked closely with Joyce in the Clinton Correctional Facility's tailor shop while you were an inmate there. So what was your very first memory of meeting Joyce, and what kind of person does she appear to be to you?
Clinton Correctional Facility, let me just say, is not a nice place, and it's very tense. You can feel the tension. It hovers like a nimbus cloud. When I walked in there, it was kind of like a laid-back place. She was very personal. She would be very friendly, flirtatious. You could see that she was very interactive with everybody in that tailor shop.
At what point did you start to realize she was being manipulated by Richard and David, and were you aware that they were planning an escape?
I was there in 2011 and 2012, which was 3 years prior to the escape. She would bring stuff in for David, stuff that he wasn't supposed to have, like extra food, art supplies, tattoo supplies, and she would spend time with him, a lot of time, one-on-one. I mean, he was the inmate supervisor, and she was the civilian supervisor, so they had to have a very close relationship. And, they would go back and forth, laughing, joking, talking, all day long, and sometimes they would go into that back room, the material room, for quite a bit of time, and we all kind of knew there was something going on, but we could never, we couldn't prove it. And nobody would dare say anything about it because, then you'd be labeled a snitch. But after I did leave, David did get kicked out of the tailor shop for inappropriate behavior with Joyce. And I believe then that's when Matt took over and started the whole manipulative process over again. But this time he raised the stakes. He wanted to get out.
As a former inmate, you have a very unique perspective on all of this. So did you ever think that this elaborate escape could actually be done? And when you heard about it, did you think that Joyce was involved?
When you pull up to that prison in Dannemora and you come down the main strip, you look up at these walls that tower over the street. It's like a fortress. And you're like, there's no way getting out of here. That morning I woke up and I'm making coffee and I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, wait, that's David and that's Ricky. I'm like, they broke out, and I automatically knew they had help, but I didn't think Joyce was the one that helped them. At first they said they had power tools, and then come to find out she's the one that brought it to them.
This story actually inspired the series Escape at Dannemora, which you helped write and create. What was that like working with actors like Ben Stiller and reliving that life for you again?
It was a very, very unique experience, one that actually changed my life and actually helped me move forward in a different direction, away from just prison stuff, and get my foot in the door in the entertainment business as well. I worked with the writers for about 18 months before Ben came on, and then we got greenlit by Showtime. Ben, he's an amazing person. Even his directing skills are off the chart. Being able to play and have a role, it was a small role. It opened up my mind and my eyes to a whole different world. It's like, the world I was used to was prison and coming up, and I had, my childhood and growing up wasn't the best. And being able to now see a different path in life, it was really, a life-changing event.
Where is Joyce today, and do you think that she learned her lesson?
Joyce, as far as I know, last time I heard, Joyce was up in Malone working at a McDonald's. I haven't had any contact with her. It's hard to tell if somebody's learned their lesson. Prison is a really tough and harsh environment, and there's one or two ways you come out of there. You either come out better or you come out worse. I hope she's really learned her lesson. And, I hope she just moves forward. I wish her all the best, and that she doesn't, make the same mistakes.
You can watch new episodes of Cellmate Secrets every Friday on Lifetime, and the Joyce Mitchell episode debuts this Friday, June 18th on Lifetime. Thank you again.
Thanks, Eric.
We'll be right back.
You're very welcome.
Fashion experts are noticing an interesting trend, the return of high heels. Let's connect the dots. When the world went into quarantine, dressy shoes got shoved to the back of the closet. Crocs and Birkenstocks made a big comeback as many of us chose comfort over looks. But with more people returning to work and traveling, heels are once again flying off store shelves. Experts say they're seeing a noticeable increase in the sale of dress shoes. And get this, there's now a real concern if there will be enough supply for all the demand. Google searches for heels are skyrocketing, and it's not just any old heel. Designer footwear is in high demand. Popular fashion designer Manolo Blahnik announced he's bringing back 5-inch heels, something he hasn't sold in years. A sign that as we return to normal, we're once again sacrificing comfort for style. And that is Connecting the Dots.
That got our attention. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. Did you know consumers lost nearly $75 million to travel fraud since the start of the pandemic? The Federal Trade Commission says travel scams are the second most reported scam right now. There were more than 40,000 reports since January of 2020 with COVID-19 restrictions loosening. It's a good reminder to be cautious when making travel plans. Look out for fake flight deals, fake booking agents. Scammers are also creating fake websites that consumers are falling for. So if a deal seems unrealistic, it likely is. If your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. So call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. This one scares me because there's so many different air flight bookings, whether it's that I would not know.
Yeah,
Did you know I get the cheapest one?
Yeah.
I just got wrapped, but I don't know where.
We got wrapped.
I just heard a noise.
1 second. I didn't know what you were expecting me to say.
We'll be right back. Well done, everyone.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In 2020, many Americans applied for unemployment for the first time, and we've received several questions from you asking about the validity of this letter that people are receiving from the IRS, saying they are getting a refund from their taxes. So we want to verify, is the IRS mailing people about refunds on taxed unemployment? With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We spoke with Clay Sanford, a spokesman for the IRS. When you file for unemployment, the money you receive is normally taxable income. But this March, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan. This stimulus bill made any unemployment compensation from 2020 tax-free.
It's helping people out. It's giving them a break to get some money back.
The IRS said in May that there are more than 10 million Americans who filed their taxes before March 11th, when the stimulus bill was passed. If you're one of those people, you could get money back.
In other words, it's not, some people may think that it's a refund of $10,200, but it's not a refund. It's actually taking that out for figuring tax.
Sanford says it's important to note this notice should physically come in the mail and not electronically. If you got an email, it's likely a scam.
Any kind of an unsolicited email that's about your tax account is not going to happen.
So we can verify. Yes, the IRS is mailing refunds to people who claimed unemployment benefits as income and filed their taxes before the American Rescue Plan was passed. If you filed electronically with your bank info, the IRS says don't worry about getting something in the mail, they'll just deposit the money right into your account.
DBL is your daytime destination.
Fully agree with this.
We're chatting with the stars.
Have you checked in on Lori Loughlin?
You must have read my mind.
I've never felt better or been in a better place in my life.
I think the director yelled cut.
And talking about what everyone is talking about.
It's a real thing.
And I thought it was great.
I'm here for it.
Why is anybody surprised?
I tell you what, polarizing for sure.
DBL is all new every day. Tomorrow on DBL, TV comedy queen Fran Drescher joins us live. Is The Nanny really getting the reboot treatment with Cardi B? That's tomorrow, right here on DBL.
Ooh, that's going to be good. Welcome back to DBL. Tori, you got comments?
We sure do. A lot of people are really into your outfit.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. Sensitivity Training says Sam's top makes me think of Cracker Jacks for some reason.
Sensitive training.
Sarah Estacio says Sam's outfit reminds me more of a jailed pilgrim.
I'll take that. I like it.
And someone says lose the outfit for your beauty's sake.
Well, listen, let me tell you. When I woke up this morning, let me just show you the whole thing, okay? When I woke up this morning, I was trying to channel Gwen and Moira Rose. I think we have full screens of them, right?
Maybe just choose one.
Does that not look like, does my outfit not look like Gwen Stefani and Moira Rose had a baby?
Yes.
It looks absolutely nothing like that.
It looks exactly like that.
And how about the fishnet shoes?
Okay, maybe it's a bit much, but that's
We
okay.
support
I
you.
appreciate
You
your
gotta
thoughts
find
and
the
comments.
ledge.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The rogue reporter who secretly recorded her bosses gets fired. Were those recordings worth sabotaging her career?
Well, all the hardships will make sense one day.
An update on Matthew McConaughey's inspiring message to Sam's brother-in-law. The reaction from Eric you do not want to miss.
Not only has it helped me, Jeff, but also my brother.
The Colorado STEM school shooter is found guilty of murder today. The father of the young victim is here to share his thoughts on the verdict. And in today's True Crime Chronicles, Cellmate Secrets, the story of Joyce Mitchell, a prisoner who helped convicted killers escape.
I can't begin to explain how sorry I am for all this.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, June 16th. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Tori, and Al. Okay, we got to talk about yesterday because yesterday was, if you watched the show, very powerful. We had the best conversation with Matthew McConaughey, and he did me and my family a really big favor by recording an inspirational message for my brother-in-law. You guys all have heard about Eric. He's still in the hospital. He's been there for over 5 months, had a double lung transplant due to COVID. Well, last night, Eric, my brother-in-law, got to see what Matthew McConaughey said to him. Take a look. Could you share some words of encouragement for Eric?
Beautiful, Eric. Hey, just keep living, man. I mean, we all have these circumstances, and it's not about what's fair or not about what we deserve or not. Life deals us different at different times, and how we got to.
Not only has it helped me, Jeff, but also my brother.
I did read your book and it was awesome.
Trust me, you gotta find it on
And it got you through some tough times, didn't it? One of the healthiest guys in the world. Surfer, snowboarder. All right, honey. You've got this, baby. Love you. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew.
That's amazing. It's just so hard for us to, even for me to see that, it's, you never would think this would happen to your family, right? When COVID happened a year ago and the pandemic happened, we never thought that COVID would take 6 months of my brother's life plus, because he's still in the hospital, and his lungs. But there is so many silver linings, so many. And you said that to me in the very beginning when I could not see any silver linings because we didn't know if Eric was going to survive. Well, he has survived. He's alive. And he has 2 new lungs. And he has Matthew McConaughey reaching out. You guys supporting him. This show, our viewers, prayers from all over the world. And Eric feels that. When I talked to him on the phone last night, and he can barely speak because, he was, when you're in a hospital bed for 6 months, and 4 of those months he was in a coma, all your muscles atrophy, including your
vocal cords.
Yeah, so
right.
you have to learn to talk again. You have to, he had a trach, which is like the tracheotomy for so long that, since that's been removed, he can kind of speak again. So he's building all of that up. But when I talked to him last night, he was just like, he started to cry and he just stopped talking. And Erica was there, my sister, and Erica said, Eric, what is it? What is it, honey? And he said he just cannot believe all these people support him. He cannot believe it. Yeah. So many silver linings.
I just have to say, I know for our audience and us, that was the very first time I've heard Eric speak, and with brand new air from brand new lungs. And that was pretty emotional just to hear him say anything, Sam. So that's a silver lining in itself.
I know.
Really nice to see.
He's going to do big things. I think his story is going to, he's going to always want to inspire people and share his story. And he already has a network of people that have COVID, are already on transplant lists. COVID's not gone. There's people in the hospital right now that are on the transplant list, hoping and praying that they get the shot to have new organs. So.
Yeah, Sam, I think you said something really important backstage when you said that this is not just Eric. This is going to be a lot of the country as people are starting to get their bodies back.
Long haulers.
There's long haulers that I actually know two people kind of in my extended universe that just have trouble walking up the stairs every day. And if you're 30, are you going to live like that for the rest of your life? So we are going to see a lot of people with transplants, and they are going to need some motivation saying, hey, Eric, that guy looks like me, he lives like me, and now look at him.
He's doing it.
Now that can happen too. So I think this is bigger than just Eric, and that's crazy to say because just this enough is enough. So just a real miracle.
Very powerful. And I mean, what a great guy, Matthew McConaughey, to do that. And that side by side.
What a mensch. What a mensch.
Thank you, Matthew. Honestly, you gave Eric the pep in his step and the motivation to keep going. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And thank you to our show and to all of you for being so supportive, and to the viewers. Honestly, you guys have been our lifeline. Okay, so exhale, Sam. Yesterday, we talked about a Houston reporter named Ivory Hecker who went rogue on live TV. So Ivory accused the local Fox station where she worked of muzzling her and keeping viewers from stories that she thought mattered to them. Now we're learning what it was that she felt muzzled from reporting on. Here's some of those secret recordings released by the far-right group Project Veritas.
I want out of this narrative news telling. I want out of this corruption.
I have passed on Bitcoin stories by almost every single reporter for our 5 o'clock audience because that's not our 5 o'clock audience.
To cease and desist posting about hydroxychloroquine. In my opinion, you failed as a reporter to not know more if you were going to post about hydroxychloroquine, that you didn't look it up and look at the latest post, the latest research about it.
Wow. If you don't know, Bitcoin is a popular digital currency. Fox 26 has responded, calling Hecker a disgruntled former employee, and claimed that these secret recordings used selective editing to misrepresent newsroom bosses. So what do you guys we always want to hear from you. What do you think of Ivory blowing up her job like she did, Jeff?
It's her prerogative, right? It's her job to lose. I mean, I don't think it's a great personal choice. I think you could have got your narrative out in a different way. But everyone's being silenced these days. I know some more than others. But if you have an agenda, and especially a far right or far left agenda, you're going to be silenced. Take the big ones, for example, Fox News and CNN. They're both silencing stories, and they're both pushing their agenda, whether you like to think it or not. If you're on the left side, no, they're not. CNN's just delivering the news. No, they're not. They have an agenda to push. If you're on the right side, Fox News is pushing an agenda, and that's what they're doing. We need a news outlet that's somewhere in the middle telling people, like this show, I feel like, does a good job of balancing
and that's my
things
point,
out.
and that's why I'm going to push back a little bit on you. There are places that you can be silenced for that kind of talk. For a reporter that's supposed to be fair and balanced with the news, but also if you work at Chase or you work at Wendy's, people might not want to see that. And if you're representing somebody's company, they might not want that on your personal page. She was out of pocket in talking about that when they were talking about the heat. The heat could kill somebody's grandmother. That could do real damage, especially to a state that just went through that. So that was where my pushback was. If she wants to talk about left-right politics, that's what YouTube page is for.
Yeah, first of all, she's a reporter.
Here, come audition here.
Misinformation about hydrochloroquine or whatever it may be. Hydroxychloroquine. You cannot just spew whatever you want to spew. There's a reason why your bosses are saying you cannot spew that, because we need to give our viewers the correct amount of information.
Yeah, learn what journalism is.
That's a part of the internet problem. I'm sorry. You see a click headline and you think you know everything.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Wow. I wish we had more time to talk about that. Coming up on DBL, Loughlin resurfaces in a graduation video, of all places. Talk about ironic. Plus, a record-setting heat wave is blasting parts of the country. So what does that heat do to your overall health? Dr. Pialcoli is joining us with the answer. And next, one day after a school shooter's conviction, we are talking with the father of a heroic young man who put his life on the line to save his classmates from more bloodshed. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
What is now a collection of parades, parties, and concerts began with a clash between the LGBTQ community and New York police. In June 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay bar in Greenwich Village, claiming the property had violated liquor laws. As police officers began making arrests, those remaining gathered outside. At this point in history, homosexuality was still considered a criminal offense, and it was common for police to raid bars like Stonewall. But this raid led to a nighttime riot. Over the next 6 days, thousands took to the streets in protest. In 1970, on the first anniversary of the police raid at Stonewall, activists organized the Christopher Street Liberation Day March, the start of the city's first Gay Pride Week. Fast forward to 1999, then President Bill Clinton became the first to issue an executive order recognizing June as Pride Month. And that's connecting the dots.
Kendrick was always like just a lovable kid. He was always concerned about other people. I remember once when he started pre-K, a kid was dropped off and wasn't used to that and was clinging on to his mom and crying, and Kendrick got up from his mat and went over and hugged him and said, "It's gonna be okay." You know, he was my best friend, and he was the love of his mother's life. He was the 18-year-old kid that before he would go to bed would go into our room and reach down and give his mom a kiss on the forehead.
Wow. Welcome back to DBL. That was John Castillo talking with Jeff about his son, Kendrick Castillo, who lost his life when he tackled a school shooter here in Colorado back in 2019. That school shooter was found guilty yesterday on 46 counts, including the first-degree murder of Kendrick Castillo. He faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Joining us now is Kendrick's father, John Castillo. John, thank you so much for being here again. Listen, your son is an American hero, but at the same time, he shouldn't have had to have been an American hero. Clearly, he saved many people's lives that day, but he should still be here today. Now, you were in court yesterday when the verdict was read. What went through your mind when you heard them say guilty?
Oh, you know, I wanted to shout. I had so much joy. You know, it's we waited for over 2 years. We've been impacted by COVID and so many other things that have pushed this justice off. I mean, hearing that was amazing, but sitting there and hearing count after count that, you know, he's guilty on all charges was just enormous and like a breath of fresh air, like weights taken off of us, really.
John, it's good to talk to you again, my friend. And the word justice in this case, you're never going to get Kendrick back. And I know, you know, when we talked last, it was on a sad occasion. It's always going to be sad. But I hope you smile today. I hope your wife smiles today. I hope your family and your community smiles today, because that was a good thing that happened. Justice was served, even though you're not going to get Kendrick back. So you have to take this as a victory. Am I right?
No, absolutely. It was a huge victory. I mean, waiting and anticipating and coming up to this moment, I can't even begin to tell you what it means for justice for Kendrick. It's another hurdle in steps moving forward that we are glad took place, and we were able to have jurors who listened to testimony evidence and felt, you know, the same way that we did. And it's just an amazing day. And you're right. I mean, we'll never get Kendrick back. I mean, that's at the end of the day, even with, you know, all of the convictions that were read out, and and the other families and all that are involved. I mean, we're never going to get Kendrick back. You know, we drove from the courthouse right to where he's buried last night and talked to his headstone. And that's the reality of this. You know, it's in some ways it seems so surreal or almost like you should be watching a movie or something like that. But this is real life. This is our lives now, and never getting our son back, but knowing that he's an American hero.
Absolutely. Absolutely he is, John. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a little touchy, and I appreciate you going there with me on this question. You and your wife were there the whole trial, and some of the defense's arguments are hard to talk about. They said that Kendrick was the aggressor. I want to know how you felt about that and how you dealt with sitting there hearing that.
Oh, you know, I felt angry, as any parent would when you're sitting there and you know the heroic actions of your son that day and others in that classroom that saved lives. And you have a defense that is painting a very different picture of what they perceive, and listening to them say that Kendrick charged with aggression towards the murderer, the killer. Trying to really spin it as if he was the criminal in this instead of the hero. You know, it just makes you want to jump out of your seat. You know, I see when I watch court television how families can get so involved in that. But, you know, we're a civil society, we're loving people, and that's not how we handle things. We restrain that anger, that emotion, and we pray, we hope for justice, and that's what we got. And the outcome was amazing. But yeah, it's very, very difficult. And, you know, it's even harder for me to imagine that there are people in the world who, for either fame or money, enter into a realm to defend such demonic and evil killers.
I hear that.
You know, I don't want to spend one more second talking about the defense for that animal. I'd like to talk about the important person here, and that's Kendrick. What do you think my man would feel about this verdict?
You know, I think he would be overjoyed. I mean, I think that he would be proud of his mom and dad yesterday for never giving up. You know, being the first ones through the door and the last ones to leave in many instances. Driving, you know, doing whatever we have to do to make sure that justice was met for Kendrick. I think that he was with us. I think he was with the jurors. I think, you know, the prosecution team was amazing. I cannot say enough about them. The sheriff's department. There are so many heroes and so many good people that embodied Kendrick's life and spirit that helped us get to the point that we were at yesterday. And, you know, I just believe that Kendrick was with every one of them. And when I give the statement and I say, live, be like Kendrick, that's exactly what I mean. It's do your job well. If you're like Detective Pereira, who didn't skip a beat when he was interviewing the murderers to make sure that things were followed up correctly. I mean, that's a man that you would hope under normal circumstances would just be doing their job, but I think it was exceptional, as we saw in video of the interviews shortly after the shooting. And then the DA's office, I mean, just every one of the attorneys that spoke and, you know, delivered after a testimony and cross-examined. I mean, they did it flawlessly. They held up against the defense. Everything could not have been more perfect.
John.
And again, I think that attributes.
Amen. Live like Kendrick. That's the takeaway here. Your son is a hero, and may us all be inspired to live like Kendrick. Thank you so much, John, for being with us and sharing Kendrick's story. We'll be right back with Dr. Coley. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Fashion experts are noticing an interesting trend, the return of high heels. Let's connect the dots. When the world went into quarantine, dressy shoes got shoved to the back of the closet. Crocs and Birkenstocks made a big comeback as many of us chose comfort over looks. But with more people returning to work and traveling, heels are once again flying off store shelves. Experts say they're seeing a noticeable increase in the sale of dress shoes. And get this, there's now a real concern if there will be enough supply for all the demand. Google searches for heels are skyrocketing, and it's not just any old heel. Designer footwear is in high demand. Popular fashion designer Manolo Blahnik announced he's bringing back 5-inch heels, something he hasn't sold in years. A sign that as we return to normal, we're once again sacrificing comfort for style. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back to DBL. We are just a few days away from official summer, and right now the forecast is only getting hotter for much of the U.S. So our own medical expert, Dr. Pyle Coley, joining us live. So we've got some questions from DBL Nation, okay, Dr. Coley, about some health topics that are big in the news right now. So our first one is from Candace, and she's wondering about the heat too. She says it's not even officially summer, and this heat wave is intense. Can these extra high temperatures affect our health, Dr. Coley?
Yes, they can, Candace. And every time I go outside, I think about how hot it is, and I think about the effects on my health. So there's direct effects. It can cause, heat stroke, heat illness, dehydration. There's also indirect effects, actually. It can increase your risk from chronic conditions like heart disease and kidney problems, diabetes. And it can affect, as you guys know, our power, our water supply, our access to care. So the heat has been tough on all of us, and we have to be extra mindful of our health this year.
All right, Doc. Malcolm asks, I heard that this June there are more COVID-19 hospitalizations than there were last June. How's that possible, Doc?
Yeah, this caught me off guard too, you guys, because we have all these vaccinations, so we would expect less people in the hospital. But two big things are different this year. Number one, our behavior. We are having parties, we're getting together, we're seeing each other. Number two, and more importantly though, Malcolm, is the fact that there's these new variants, which are now dominant here in the United States. They're more contagious, and they can end you up more in the hospital. So it's just a sobering reminder to all of us. As much as we want it to be over, the pandemic is not quite yet over.
I appreciate that. All right, Tony wants to know, CNN anchor Christiane Amanpour just announced her ovarian cancer to raise awareness. Tony wants to know who is the most high risk for that specific disease.
I'm so glad you asked, Tony, because most of the ovarian cancer is diagnosed late, greater than 75%. And early diagnosis is key to good prognosis. So all of us women, let's think about all the women in our life. And Jeff, you think about all the women in your life. And we really have to think about who's high risk. And high risk are people who've had breast cancer before, people who've never given birth, people who are older, and people who have genetic conditions like BRCA1, BRCA2, or Lynch syndrome, and then those who have endometriosis. So the idea here, ladies, is that when the ovary ovulates, gives off an egg, it breaks through the surface of the ovary, and that can cause damage. So anytime you stop ovulation, like with birth control, with breastfeeding, or with pregnancy, you actually reduce your risk of ovarian cancer. So think about all the women in your lives and assess their risk.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say anything, Dr. Coley, so I'm being muzzled.
Oh, sorry, Al, I didn't even see you over there.
I've been waiting to say it on this show for a while.
Did you hear what she said?
Recordings.
You know what she just said? She goes, oh, I didn't even see you, Al.
Oh, wow, that was a
Love you, Dr. Coley.
Love you, Doc.
We'll love you. Bye.
That was good.
Love you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In 2020, many Americans applied for unemployment for the first time, and we've received several questions from you asking about the validity of this letter that people are receiving from the IRS, saying they are getting a refund from their taxes. So we want to verify, is the IRS mailing people about refunds on taxed unemployment? With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We spoke with Clay Sanford, a spokesman for the IRS. When you file for unemployment, the money you receive is normally taxable income. But this March, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan. This stimulus bill made any unemployment compensation from 2020 tax-free.
It's helping people out. It's giving them a break to get some money back.
The IRS said in May that there are more than 10 million Americans who filed their taxes before March 11th, when the stimulus bill was passed. If you're one of those people, you could get money back.
In other words, it's not, some people may think that it's a refund of $10,200, but it's not a refund. It's actually taking that out for figuring tax.
Sanford says it's important to note this notice should physically come in the mail and not electronically. If you got an email, it's likely a scam.
Any kind of an unsolicited email that's about your tax account is not going to happen.
So we can verify. Yes, the IRS is mailing refunds to people who claimed unemployment benefits as income and filed their taxes before the American Rescue Plan was passed. If you filed electronically with your bank info, the IRS says don't worry about getting something in the mail, they'll just deposit the money right into your account.
DBL is your daytime destination.
Fully agree with this.
We're chatting with the stars.
Have you checked in on Loughlin?
You must have read my mind.
I've never felt better or been in a better place in my life.
I think the director yelled cut.
And talking about what everyone is talking about.
It's a real thing.
And I thought it was great.
I'm here for it.
Why is anybody surprised?
I tell you what, polarizing for sure.
DBL is all new every day.
Coming up on DBL, a notorious jailbreak, a massive manhunt, and the woman who helped two convicts break free. That's in True Crime Chronicles. And Loughlin resurfaces in a graduation video. DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Tori, and Al. Let's get started. So there are many reasons to love living in the USA, but let's see if you agree with People Magazine's top reasons to love America. So according to People, the number 10 reason for loving America is Amanda Gorman. Number 9, the great outdoors. Number 8,
the movie?
The first gay Captain America. Marvel recently introduced the superhero as an LGBTQ teen. Number 7, Oprah. Number 6, America's mission to Mars. Number 5, Independence Day or the 4th of July.
Ooh.
Number 4, our ability to pivot. Or how businesses and schools were able to change and adapt during the pandemic. Number 3, Dolly Parton. Number 2, vaccines. And the number 1 reason to love America is The Rock? What do you guys think about that?
I think this list was made by one person. We're going to get some emails about this list.
Rock is I love me The Rock, but the number 1 reason to love America is The Rock?
How about freedom?
Yeah, I know.
And the things that we have in this country. If people have seen a map of what the rest of the world looks like and things to complain about, the things we complain about in this country are ridiculous at this
Jeff,
point. When you go around the country and you see the poverty and the way that they are governed and what we have here, you should not be complaining. And The Rock should not be number 1, even though I love him.
I agree, and let me just say this. I can say this. I really don't like my government sometimes. Because I can say that on television is why I like America. Because I'm not jailed right now. You nailed it. It's freedom, and you shouldn't put that aside for The Rock, although I do love him. Go DJ.
But it was People Magazine, so they're doing what they do. This is their demographic.
But that's what surprised me, Sam. This is like French fries didn't make it? Just something big. The Super Bowl.
They're not Bon Appetit magazine. They're People Magazine.
But everybody loves French fries, and French fries are associated with our country. We started that. Sorry.
It begins with French.
We didn't start French fries.
We did.
No,
yes,
we didn't.
I've been all over the world. Their fries are not as good as ours.
That's terribly wrong.
I'm straight up.
Yeah, okay.
Come at me,
You're wrong.
Sweden. No, who has better fries?
Oh, Canada. Poutine.
Oh, he's right.
Yeah,
Poutine
but
is
you,
good.
yes.
Yeah.
Dip 'em in gravy.
Yeah, but everything's better if you dump gravy on it. I mean, I'm in the middle of my workday. Now I'm going with regular fries.
Oh, how cute. Arash, our producer, said, what about plaid with stripes?
Oh,
hey!
For people at home,
Look,
they can't tell that Sam is dressed like 2 different oven mitts.
No, it's a Beetlejuice. It's a Tim Burton look. It's a Gwen Stefani.
It's my Moira Rose.
That's it.
If you've seen Schitt's Creek, you
That's
know
it.
that Moira Rose tends to dress similar to
Her
this.
bebes.
You know you
dressed
like
like
it.
a frustrated 13-year-old. You are.
What?
You're dressed like a frustrated 13-year-old.
A
It's like acting
13-year-old
out against their
wears
parents.
a blouse like
We're
this
on
with
a
a pussy
TV
bow?
show. Yeah, Sam, they don't go together.
They do actually. It's a 90s look.
You're dressed like a highlighter. How can you tell her anything?
Every time I wear this outfit, you say something that's so
Maybe
mean.
that's a sign you should stop.
Trying to see if anybody's defending my outfit. No.
No.
Okay. We have an update on Chrissy Teigen's ongoing bullying saga. As we've been talking about, Chrissy recently apologized for her past cyberbullying and called herself a, quote, troll. Well, one of her targets was Project Runway designer Michael Costello, who recently said he thought about taking his own life after Chrissy called him a racist on Twitter. So now singer Leona Lewis is calling out Michael for making her feel uncomfortable during a dress fitting for a fashion show. She said Michael and his team refused to alter a dress to fit her, so she was forced to sit out the show. In a lengthy Instagram post, she said the experience left her feeling embarrassed and deeply hurt, saying, quote, I was left with deep insecurities after this, and I've had to work hard over the years to love my body. Leona also said while she doesn't condone bullying, she believes Chrissy deserves to be forgiven. Wow.
I got a lot of flack, just so you know, yesterday for what I said when I went strong at Chrissy, and I really loved Chrissy, but people came back saying, have you seen the update to this story? And I do want to say, I appreciate that we got more context to it, and I appreciate we're following up. I still don't think anyone
This has nothing to do with Chrissy.
Exactly.
Why
What are you talking about? An
separate
update. That's not an update to the story. This is over here.
Thank you.
Chrissy Teigen told someone to go kill themselves. not fitting you for a runway fashion show has nothing to do with Chrissy Teigen telling people to go kill themselves. We're deflecting and distracting on what happened. If you tell me to go kill myself and then you told someone because you were having a bad day to get out of their way, that is no excuse for what you told me. And that's exactly what you're making for Chrissy Teigen.
First of all, I was wrong. Right, and first of all, I wasn't done talking because I don't think you should ever still say, go kill yourself. That's what I was about to finish with. I will say this, though. In some respects, it gives context as, was she protecting other women of color, other people of color, and was that the reason she spoke up so proudly and so angrily? Now, again, I think it's criminal, literally criminal in court, to tell someone to go kill themselves to a point that people have done it. They've killed themselves. So I completely agree with you. But I think context is important in these type of stories.
If that was maybe a sole incident, incident, first of all, your answer to stick up for somebody shouldn't be telling someone to go kill themselves.
Amen. I completely agree
there.
I agree.
But if this was a sole incident, sure, maybe it would provide a little bit more nuance for the conversation. But considering that Chrissy has so many, and this is coming from a fan of Chrissy, not so much anymore, and I do hope that she has some sort of road to redemption. I always hope that for everybody. However, what Chrissy did was wrong, and she has a pattern of behavior of telling many people to kill themselves, not just protecting.
No, she was a real troll.
Lewis, if that was even the case.
Right, and you know what? It's all about your brand because, you know, we've seen, who's the talk show? Wendy Williams, she made like an off-color joke on her show, remember, about the person that jumped off their balcony and in her audience didn't give her any love for that joke, but they certainly didn't leave because Wendy Williams has built a brand on pushing things to the edge. She does go over the edge sometimes, but she eats it, she accepts it. People come at her, she claps back. But when you set your brand that I am, like Jeff said yesterday so well, when you are, I am 100% right and I'm righteous in everything, when this comes out, it's going to hit you way harder. It's just like the kids say, it hits different. It hits different when the person that's supposed to be the online defender turns out to be one of the biggest perpetrators of bullying.
Wow, well said. Okay, so a dad surprised his daughter with an epic graduation video that featured a slew of celebrities. Take a look.
Mark Wahlberg here. I just wanted to slide into your high school graduation video and join everyone in offering our congratulations and wishing you all the best.
Bob Saget here, wishing you a lot of love and congratulations graduating from high school.
Congratulations on your big day.
She looks insane. Sorry, she does.
All right, did you catch that? Lori Loughlin also offered her congrats.
Tori's comment or the Lori Loughlin
I'm sorry,
I don't know if they heard that, but yeah, she seemed a little.
I also think this is the weirdest thing to be putting yourself in a senior graduating video when you have been accused of cheating with your senior children. I mean, this whole thing to me seems like I'm being trolled by Lori Loughlin.
Like, stay away from that.
I just feel like this is a troll. We're being trolled by this. This is all a joke. How would she be in a graduation video?
It's because you live in a world with no repercussions. I mean, you think about what they did.
Well, she went to jail.
Yeah, she served her time.
9 days, 11 days.
No, she was in for months. She was in for more.
But think, she permanently diverted somebody else's path forever.
Yep.
Like if Lawson was gonna get that last seat, and some parent, not her, but some parent bought that seat, which it appears has been going on because you saw that movie for a long time.
Yeah, and the Netflix documentary.
Yes, his life is permanently different. He might not end up living in a ditch, but he did not get into that school, and it's going to affect the rest of his life. And for the fact that she can appear in that so cavalierly,
so weird.
It's off-putting to me.
Yeah.
It really is. It just shows that you kind of just don't see that you did anything wrong.
Well, I think she was doing a favor. I think she was doing a favor for somebody. Obviously, they're fans of Full House if Bob Saget's in
That's
there.
true.
It is definitely ironic.
That's fair.
But at what point, if you're Lori Loughlin, say, hey, I have to move on with my life. I served my time. What I did was definitely wrong. Everyone in my circle and community was doing the same thing. I'm just the most famous person who got caught.
Well, maybe don't go into a high school graduation senior video. That's the dumbest move you could do.
I totally agree, but when do you get on with your life? You're doing a favor for a friend.
Skip the senior graduation stuff. It's just not up your
Do
lane.
a different favor. I bet she could do a million things to give back.
Put some money into it.
Maybe not a million, but
hey, Lori Loughlin, you want to come clean my house?
I think she could be the face
things.
of changing this obviously this exchange of money for seating at a college. She could be the face of reforming that.
Right.
Because this is a thing. Just because we know her, clear. I mean, other rich people. There was a wine merchant in there. Like this has been going on forever.
Forever.
So can we do so? Like how long? Where did this start?
It's still going on, even though you think it's not. It's still going on.
And all that story just went away.
Spots for their kids in some other way.
Completely agree with you. And she got her punishment. And she served her time. I just think this was too ironic. You dipped your toe into something. Stay out of that lane.
But what if she wasn't meaning for it to get out? What if she's like, what if I did a video for you?
It's Mark Wahlberg. Of course it's going to get out. That's a huge story.
A publicist that, or a lawyer. What if I made a video for you and you threw me under the bus and pointed out for something stupid I did in the past, and now it's everywhere? And I did that as a favor for you.
I appreciate that, but I think there were enough celebrities in there to make that a story that would go viral.
You think we'd be doing a story on Bob Saget and Mark Wahlberg?
I'm saying she was.
Okay, we got
point winner.
No. Point loser.
Okay, coming up on DBL.
Kind of point
A jailbreak ripped from the headlines, you guys. 2 convicts and the female prison worker who helped them make a run for it. We're talking to another former inmate who says it played out. Next in True Crime Chronicles.
Closed captioning provided by
What is now a collection of parades, parties, and concerts began with a clash between the LGBTQ community and New York police. In June 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay bar in Greenwich Village, claiming the property had violated liquor laws. As police officers began making arrests, those remaining gathered outside. At this point in history, homosexuality was still considered a criminal offense, and it was common for police to raid bars like Stonewall. But this raid led to a nighttime riot. Over the next 6 days, thousands took to the streets in protest. In 1970, on the first anniversary of the police raid at Stonewall, activists organized the Christopher Street Liberation Day March, the start of the city's first Gay Pride Week. Fast forward to 1999, then President Bill Clinton became the first to issue an executive order, recognizing June as Pride Month. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It was one of the biggest manhunts in New York City history. 6 years ago, 2 convicts escaped with the help of a prison staffer. Now, a former inmate who watched it unfold is speaking out. Here's DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Richard, Matt, and David Sweat were 2 inmates convicted of first-degree murder in separate cases. They were serving their sentences at the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York. That's where they met Joyce Mitchell. She worked at the facility's tailor shop. The 3 quickly formed a bond, and Joyce became infatuated with the men and began having an affair. Meanwhile, Richard and David were planning an elaborate scheme to escape with the help of Joyce.
They wanted her, whether it be just for sex or for a favor. I think she got off on that.
Eric was an inmate at the time who also worked at the tailor shop with Joyce. He watched closely as the men seduced and manipulated Joyce in exchange for tools.
Joyce brought contraband into the facility.
She smuggled in blades and chisels by hiding them in frozen meat and would bribe security guards with baked goods to help her bypass the metal detectors. Using the tools, Richard and David worked for months during the middle of the night, sawing their way through, and even lost weight to fit through the tunnels. The scheme worked. Richard and David escaped by cutting through walls before exiting through a nearby manhole where they planned to meet Joyce and hop in the getaway car.
Being on the lam with 2 escaped convicts, that might be exciting.
They were going to dump her as soon as they could.
Joyce got cold feet and never showed. The escape prompted one of the biggest manhunts in New York State history. Interstates shut down, nearby schools closed, and at one point, more than 500 officers were involved. As the search grew, Joyce was arrested and charged.
If I could take it all back, I would. I can't begin to explain how sorry I am for all this.
Almost a month after the escape, Richard was spotted in Franklin County. During a police confrontation, he was shot and killed.
This is the camper where Matt was hiding and where the police finally got him.
2 days later, a state trooper spots David walking just 1.5 miles from the Canadian border.
He was just about at the tree line.
He attempted to run off, prompting a state trooper to fire his gun. David was hit twice, but survived. Could they have done it without Joyce? And what was really in it for her?
Earlier, Eric and I spoke with Eric Jensen, and here's what he had to say.
We are here with Eric Jensen. Eric, thank you so much for joining us on DBL. This is such a fascinating story. You worked closely with Joyce in the Clinton Correctional Facility's tailor shop while you were an inmate there. So what was your very first memory of meeting Joyce, and what kind of person does she appear to be to you?
Clinton Correctional Facility, let me just say, is not a nice place, and it's very tense. You can feel the tension. It hovers like a nimbus cloud. When I walked in there, it was kind of like a back place. She was very personal. She would be very friendly, flirtatious. You could see that she was very interactive with everybody in that tailor shop.
At what point did you start to realize she was being manipulated by Richard and David, and were you aware that they were planning an escape?
I was there in 2011 and 2012, which was 3 years prior to the escape. She would bring stuff in for David, stuff that he wasn't supposed to have, like extra food, art supplies, tattoo supplies, and she would spend time with him, a lot of time, one-on-one. He was the inmate supervisor, and she was the civilian supervisor, so they had to have a very close relationship. And, they would go back and forth, laughing, joking, talking, all day long, and sometimes they would go into that back room, the material room, for quite a bit of time, and we all kind of knew there was something going on, but we could never, we couldn't prove it. And nobody would dare say anything about it because, then you'd be labeled a snitch. But after I did leave, David did get kicked out of the tailor shop for inappropriate behavior with Joyce. And I believe then that's when Matt took over and started the whole manipulative process over again. But this time he raised the stakes. He wanted to be out.
As a former inmate, you have a very unique perspective on all of this. So did you ever think that this elaborate escape could actually be done? And when you heard about it, did you think that Joyce was involved?
When you pull up to that prison in Dannemora and you come down the main strip, you look up at these walls that tower over the street. It's like a fortress. And you're like, there's no way getting out of here. That morning I woke up and I'm making coffee. And I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, wait, that's David and that's Ricky. I'm like, they broke out, and I automatically knew they had help, but I didn't think Joyce was the one that helped them. At first they said they had power tools, and then come to find out she's the one that brought it to them.
This story actually inspired the series Escape at Dannemora, which you helped write and create. What was that like working with actors like Ben Stiller and reliving that life for you again?
It was a very, very unique experience, one that actually changed my life and actually helped me move forward in a different direction, away from just prison stuff, and get my foot in the door in the entertainment business as well. I worked with the writers for about 18 months before Ben came on, and then we got greenlit by Showtime. Ben, he's an amazing person. Even his directing skills are off the chart. Being able to play and have a role, it was a small role. It opened up my mind and my eyes to a whole different world. It's like, the world I was used to was prison and coming up. And I had, my childhood and growing up wasn't the best. And being able to now see a different path in life, It was really, a life-changing event.
Where is Joyce today, and do you think that she learned her lesson?
Joyce, as far as I know, last time I heard, Joyce was up in Malone working at a McDonald's. I haven't had any contact with her. It's hard to tell if somebody's learned their lesson. Prison is a really tough and harsh environment, and there's one or two ways you come out of there. You either come out better or you come out worse. I hope she's really learned her lesson, and I hope she just moves forward. I wish her all the best, and that she doesn't make the same mistakes again.
You can watch new episodes of Cellmate Secrets every Friday on Lifetime, and the Joyce Mitchell episode debuts this Friday, June 18th on Lifetime. Thank you again.
Thanks, Eric.
We'll be right back.
Very welcome.
Fashion experts are noticing an interesting trend, the return of high heels. Let's connect the dots. When the world went into quarantine, dressy shoes got shoved to the back of the closet. Crocs and Birkenstocks made a big comeback as many of us chose comfort over looks. But with more people returning to work and traveling, heels are once again flying off store shelves. Experts say they're seeing a noticeable increase in the sale of dress shoes. And get this, there's now a real concern if there will be enough supply for all the demand. Google searches for heels are skyrocketing, and it's not just any old heel. Designer footwear is in high demand. Popular fashion designer Manolo Blahnik announced he's bringing back 5-inch heels, something he hasn't sold in years. A sign that as we return to normal, we're once again sacrificing comfort for style. And that is connecting the dots.
That got our attention. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. Did you know consumers lost nearly $75 million to travel fraud since the start of the pandemic? The Federal Trade Commission says travel scams are the second most reported scam right now. There were more than 40,000 reports since January of 2020 with COVID-19 restrictions loosening. It's a good reminder to be cautious when making travel plans. Look out for fake flight deals, fake booking agents. Scammers are also creating fake websites that consumers are falling for. So if a deal seems unrealistic, it likely is. If your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. So call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. This one scares me because there's so many different air flight bookings, whether it's that I would not know.
Yeah,
Did you know I get the cheapest one?
Yeah. I just got wrapped, but I don't know where
we got wrapped.
I just heard a noise.
1 second. I didn't know what you were expecting me to say.
We'll be right back.
Well done, everyone.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In 2020, many Americans applied for unemployment for the first time, and we've received several questions from you asking about the validity of this letter that people are receiving from the IRS, saying they're getting a refund from their taxes. So we want to verify, is the IRS mailing people about refunds on taxed unemployment? With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We spoke with Clay Sanford, a spokesman for the IRS. When you file for unemployment, the money you receive is normally taxable income. But this March, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan. This stimulus bill made any unemployment compensation from 2020 tax-free.
It's helping people out. It's giving them a break to get some money back.
The IRS said in May that there are more than 10 million Americans who filed their taxes before March 11th, when the stimulus bill was passed. If you're one of those people, you could get money back.
In other words, it's not, some people may think that it's a refund of $10,200, but it's not a refund. It's actually taking that out for figuring tax.
Sanford says it's important to note this notice should physically come in the mail and not electronically. If you got an email, it's likely a scam.
Any kind of an unsolicited email that's about your tax account is not going to happen.
So we can verify. Yes, the IRS is mailing refunds to people who claimed unemployment benefits as income and filed their taxes before the American Rescue Plan was passed. If you filed electronically with your bank info, the IRS says don't worry about getting something in the mail, they'll just deposit the money right into your account.
DBL is your daytime destination.
Fully agree with this.
We're chatting with the stars.
Have you checked in on Lori Loughlin?
You must have read my mind. I've never felt better or been in a better place in my life. I think the director yelled cut.
And talking about what everyone is talking about.
It's a real thing.
And I thought it was great.
I'm here for it.
Why is anybody surprised?
I tell you what, polarizing for sure.
DBL is all new every day. Tomorrow on DBL, TV comedy queen Fran Drescher joins us live. Is The Nanny really getting the reboot treatment with Cardi B? That's tomorrow, right here on DBL.
Ooh, that's going to be good. Welcome back to DBL. Tori, you got comments?
We sure do. A lot of people are really into your outfit.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. Sensitivity Training says Sam's top makes me think of Cracker Jacks for some reason.
Sensitive training.
Sarah Estacio says Sam's outfit reminds me more of a jailed pilgrim.
I'll take that. I like it.
And someone says lose the outfit for your beauty's sake.
Well, listen, let me tell you. When I woke up this morning, let me just show you the whole thing, okay? When I woke up this morning, I was trying to channel Gwen and Moira Rose. I think we have full screens of them, right?
Maybe just choose one.
Does that not look like, does my outfit not look like Gwen Stefani and Moira Rose had a baby?
Yes.
It looks absolutely nothing like that.
It looks exactly like that.
And how about the fishnet shoes?
Okay, maybe it's a bit much, but that's okay. I appreciate your thoughts and comments. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The rogue reporter who secretly recorded her bosses gets fired. Were those recordings worth sabotaging her career?
Well, all the hardships will make sense one day.
An update on Matthew McConaughey's inspiring message to Sam's brother-in-law. The reaction from Eric you do not want to miss.
And not only has it helped me, Jeff, but also my brother.
The Colorado STEM school shooter is found guilty of murder today. The father of the young victim is here to share his thoughts on the verdict. And in today's True Crime Chronicles, Cellmate Secrets, the story of Joyce Mitchell, a prisoner who helped convicted killers escape.
I can't begin to explain how sorry I am for all this.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, June 16th. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Tori, and Al. Okay, we got to talk about yesterday because yesterday was, if you watched the show, very powerful. We had the best conversation with Matthew McConaughey, and he did me and my family a really big favor by recording an inspirational message for my brother-in-law. You guys all have heard about Eric. He's still in the hospital. He's been there for over 5 months, had a double lung transplant due to COVID. Well, last night, Eric, my brother-in-law, got to see what Matthew McConaughey said to him. Take a look. Could you share some words of encouragement for Eric?
Beautiful, Eric. Hey, just keep living, man. I mean, we all have these circumstances, and it's not about what's fair or not about what we deserve or not. You know, life deals us different at different times, and how we got to.
Not only has it helped me, Jeff,
That's
but
so
also
cool.
my brother.
I did read your book and it was awesome.
Trust me, you gotta find it on
And it
Amazon.
got you through some tough times, didn't it? One of the healthiest guys in the world. Surfer, snowboarder. All right, honey. You've got this, baby. Love you. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew.
That's amazing. It's just so hard for us to, like, even for me to see that, like, it's, you never would think this would happen to your family, right? When COVID happened a year ago and the pandemic happened, you know, we never thought that COVID would take 6 months of my brother's life plus, because he's still in the hospital, and his lungs. But there is so many silver linings, so many. And you said that to me in the very beginning when I could not see any silver linings because we didn't know if Eric was going to survive. Well, he has survived. He's alive. And he has 2 new lungs. And he has Matthew McConaughey reaching out, you guys supporting him, this show, our viewers, prayers from all over the world. And Eric feels that. When I talked to him on the phone last night, and he can barely speak because, you know, he was, when you're in a hospital bed for 6 months, and 4 of those months he was in a coma, all your muscles atrophy, including your
vocal cord.
Yeah, so
right.
you have to learn to talk again. You have to, you know, he had a trach, which is like the tracheotomy for so long that, you know, since that's been removed, he can kind of speak again. So he's building all of that up. But when I talked to him last night, he was just like, he started to cry and he just stopped talking. And Erica was there, my sister, and Erica said, Eric, what is it? Like, what is it, honey? And he said he just cannot believe all these people support him. He cannot believe it. Yeah. So many silver linings.
I just have to say, I know for our audience and us, that was the very first time I've heard Eric speak, and with brand new air from brand new lungs. And that was pretty emotional just to hear him say anything, Sam. So that's a silver lining in itself.
I know.
Really nice to see.
He's going to do big things.
He
like,
is.
I think his story is going to, I think he's going to always want to inspire people and share his story. And he already has like a network of people that have COVID, are already on transplant lists. Like, COVID's not gone. There's people in the hospital right now that are on the transplant list, hoping and praying that they get the shot to have new organs. So
Yeah, Sam, I think you said something really important backstage when you said that this is not just Eric. This is going to be a lot of the country as people are starting to get their bodies back.
Long haulers.
There's long haulers that I actually know two people kind of in my extended universe that just have trouble walking up the stairs every day. And if you're 30, are you going to live like that for the rest of your life? So we are going to see a lot of people with transplants, and they are going to need some motivation saying, hey, Eric, that guy looks like me, he lives like me, and now look at him. He's doing it. Now that can happen too. So I think this is bigger than just Eric, and that's crazy to say because just this enough is enough. So just a real miracle.
Very powerful. And I mean, what a great guy, Matthew McConaughey, to do that. And that side by side.
What a mensch. What a mensch.
Thank you, Matthew. Honestly, you gave Eric the pep in his step and the motivation to keep going. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And thank you to our show and to all of you for being so supportive, and to the viewers. Honestly, you guys have been our lifeline. Okay, so exhale, Sam. Yesterday, we talked about a Houston reporter named Ivory Hecker who went rogue on live TV. So Ivory accused the local Fox station where she worked of muzzling her and keeping viewers from stories that she thought mattered to them. Now we're learning what it was that she felt muzzled from reporting on. Here's some of those secret recordings released by the far-right group Project Veritas.
I want out of this narrative news telling. I want out of this corruption.
I have passed on Bitcoin stories by almost every single reporter for our 5 o'clock audience because that's not our 5 o'clock audience.
To cease and desist posting about hydroxychloroquine. In my opinion, you failed as a reporter to not know more if you were going to post about hydroxychloroquine, that you didn't look it up and look at the latest post, the latest research about it.
Wow. If you don't know, Bitcoin is a popular digital currency. Fox 26 has responded, calling Hecker a disgruntled former employee, and claimed that these secret recordings used selective editing to misrepresent newsroom bosses. So what do you guys we always want to hear from you. What do you think of Ivory blowing up her job like she did, Jeff?
It's her prerogative, right? It's her job to lose. I mean, I don't think it's a great personal choice. I think you could have got your narrative out in a different way. But everyone's being silenced these days. I know some more than others. But if you have an agenda, and especially a far right or far left agenda, you're going to be silenced. Take the big ones, for example, Fox News and CNN. They're both silencing stories, and they're both pushing their agenda, whether you like to think it or not. If you're on the left side, no, they're not. CNN's just delivering the news. No, they're not. They have an agenda to push. If you're on the right side, Fox News is pushing an agenda, and that's what they're doing. We need a news outlet that's somewhere in the middle telling people, like this show, I feel like, does a good job of balancing
and that's my
things
point,
out.
and that's why I'm going to push back a little bit on you. There are places that you can be silenced for that kind of talk. For a reporter that's supposed to be fair and balanced with the news, but also if you work at Chase or you work at Wendy's, people might not want to see that. And if you're representing somebody's company, they might not want that on your personal page. She was out of pocket in talking about that when they were talking about the heat. The heat could kill somebody's grandmother. That could do real damage, especially to a state that just went through that. So that was where my pushback was. If she wants to talk about left-right politics, that's what YouTube page is for.
Yeah, first of all, she's a reporter.
Come audition here.
Misinformation about hydrochloroquine or whatever it may be. Hydroxychloroquine. You cannot just spew whatever you want to spew. There's a reason why your bosses are saying you cannot spew that, because we need to give our viewers the correct amount of information.
Yeah, learn what journalism is.
That's a part of the internet problem. I'm sorry. You see a click headline and you think you know everything.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Wow. I wish we had more time to talk about that. Coming up on DBL, Loughlin resurfaces in a graduation video, of all places. Talk about ironic. Plus, a record-setting heat wave is blasting parts of the country. So what does that heat do to your overall health? Dr. Pialcoli is joining us with the answer. And next, one day after a school shooter's conviction, we are talking with the father of a heroic young man who put his life on the line to save his classmates from more bloodshed. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
What is now a collection of parades, parties, and concerts began with a clash between the LGBTQ community and New York police. In June 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay bar in Greenwich Village, claiming the property had violated liquor laws. As police officers began making arrests, those remaining gathered outside. At this point in history, homosexuality was still considered a criminal offense, and it was common for police to raid bars like Stonewall. But this raid led to a nighttime riot. Over the next 6 days, thousands took to the streets in protest. In 1970, on the first anniversary of the police raid at Stonewall, activists organized the Christopher Street Liberation Day March, the start of the city's first Gay Pride Week. Fast forward to 1999, then President Bill Clinton became the first to issue an executive order, recognizing June as Pride Month. And that's connecting the dots.
Kendrick was always like just a lovable kid. He was always concerned about other people. I remember once when he started pre-K, a kid was dropped off and wasn't used to that and was clinging on to his mom and crying, and Kendrick got up from his mat and went over and hugged him and said, "It's gonna be okay." You know, he was my best friend, and he was the love of his mother's life. He was the 18-year-old kid that before he would go to bed would go into our room and reach down and give his mom a kiss on the forehead.
Wow. Welcome back to DBL. That was John Castillo talking with Jeff about his son, Kendrick Castillo, who lost his life when he tackled a school shooter here in Colorado back in 2019. That school shooter was found guilty yesterday on 46 counts, including the first-degree murder of Kendrick Castillo. He faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Joining us now is Kendrick's father, John Castillo. John, thank you so much for being here again. Listen, your son is an American hero, but at the same time, he shouldn't have had to have been an American hero. Clearly, he saved many people's lives that day, but he should still be here today. Now, you were in court yesterday when the verdict was read. What went through your mind when you heard them say guilty?
Oh, you know, I wanted to shout. I had so much joy. You know, it's we waited for over 2 years. We've been impacted by COVID and so many other things that have pushed this justice off. I mean, hearing that was amazing. But sitting there and hearing count after count that, you know, he's guilty on all charges was just enormous and like a breath of fresh air, like weights taken off of us, really.
John, it's good to talk to you again, my friend. And the word justice in this case, you're never going to get Kendrick back. And I know, you know, when we talked last, it was on a sad occasion. It's always going to be sad. But I hope you smile today. I hope your wife smiles today. I hope your family and your community smiles today, because that was a good thing that happened. Justice was served, even though you're not going to get Kendrick back. So you have to take this as a victory. Am I right?
No, absolutely. It was a huge victory. I mean, waiting and anticipating and coming up to this moment, I can't even begin to tell you what it means for justice for Kendrick. It's another hurdle in steps moving forward that we are glad took place, and we were able to have jurors who listened to testimony evidence and felt, the same way that we did. And it's just an amazing day. And you're right. I mean, we'll never get Kendrick back. I mean, that's at the end of the day, even with, all of the convictions that were read out and the other families and all that are involved. I mean, we're never going to get Kendrick back. We drove from the courthouse right to where he's buried last night and talked to his headstone. And that's the reality of this. It's in some ways it seems so surreal or almost like you should be watching a movie or something like that. But this is real life. This is our lives now, and never getting our son back, but knowing that he's an American hero.
Absolutely. Absolutely he is, John. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a little touchy, and I appreciate you going there with me on this question. You and your wife were there the whole trial, and some of the defense's arguments are hard to talk about. They said that Kendrick was the aggressor. I want to know how you felt about that and how you dealt with sitting there hearing that.
Oh, I felt angry, as any parent would when you're sitting there and the heroic actions of your son that day and others in that classroom that saved lives. And you have a defense that is painting a very different picture of what they perceive, and listening to them say that Kendrick charged with aggression towards the murderer, the killer, trying to really spin it as if he was the criminal in this instead of the hero. It just makes you want to jump out of your seat. Sure. I see when I watch court television how families can get so involved in that. But we're a civil society, we're loving people, and that's not how we handle things. We restrain that anger, that emotion, and we pray, we hope for justice, and that's what we got. And the outcome was amazing, but yeah, it's very, very difficult. And it's even harder for me to imagine that there are people in the world who, for either fame or money, enter into a realm to defend such demonic and evil killers.
I hear that.
I don't want to spend one more second talking about the defense for that animal. I'd like to talk about the important person here, and that's Kendrick. What do you think my man would feel about this verdict?
I think he would be overjoyed. I mean, I think that he would be proud of his mom and dad yesterday for never giving up. Being the first ones through the door and the last ones to leave in many instances, driving, doing whatever we have to do to make sure that justice was met for Kendrick. I think that he was with us. I think he was with the jurors. I think, the prosecution team was amazing. I cannot say enough about them. The sheriff's department. There are so many heroes and so many good people that embodied Kendrick's life and spirit that helped us get to the point that we were at yesterday. And, I just believe that Kendrick was with every one of them. And when I give the statement and I say, live, be like Kendrick, that's exactly what I mean. It's do your job well. If you're like Detective Pereira, who didn't skip a beat when he was interviewing the murderers to make sure that things were followed up correctly. I mean, that's a man that you would hope under normal circumstances would just be doing their job, but I think it was exceptional, as we saw in video of the interviews shortly after the shooting. And then the DA's office, just every one of the attorneys that spoke and, delivered after a testimony and cross-examined. They did it flawlessly. They held up against the defense. Everything could not have been more perfect.
John.
And again, I think that attributes.
Amen. Live like Kendrick. That's the takeaway here. Your son is a hero, and may us all be inspired to live like Kendrick. Thank you so much, John, for being with us and sharing Kendrick's story. We'll be right back with Dr. Coley. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Fashion experts are noticing an interesting trend, the return of high heels. Let's connect the dots. When the world went into quarantine, dressy shoes got shoved to the back of the closet. Crocs and Birkenstocks made a big comeback as many of us chose comfort over looks. But with more people returning to work and traveling, heels are once again flying off store shelves. Experts say they're seeing a noticeable increase in the sale of dress shoes. And get this, there's now a real concern if there will be enough supply for all the demand. Google searches for heels are skyrocketing, and it's not just any old heel. Designer footwear is in high demand. Popular fashion designer Manolo Blahnik announced he's bringing back 5-inch heels, something he hasn't sold in years. A sign that as we return to normal, we're once again sacrificing comfort for style. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back to DBL. We are just a few days away from official summer, and right now the forecast is only getting hotter for much of the U.S. So our own medical expert, Dr. Pyle Coley, joining us live. So we've got some questions from DBL Nation, okay, Dr. Coley, about some health topics that are big in the news right now. So our first one is from Candace, and she's wondering about the heat too. She says it's not even officially summer, and this heat wave is intense. Can these extra high temperatures affect our health, Dr. Coley?
Yes, they can, Candace. And every time I go outside, I think about how hot it is, and I think about the effects on my health. So there's direct effects. It can cause, heat stroke, heat illness, dehydration. There's also indirect effects, actually. It can increase your risk from chronic conditions like heart disease and kidney problems, diabetes. And it can affect, as you guys know, our power, our water supply, our access to care. So the heat has been tough on all of us, and we have to be extra mindful of our health this year.
All right, Doc. Malcolm asks, I heard that this June there are more COVID-19 hospitalizations than there were last June. How's that possible, Doc?
Yeah, this caught me off guard too, you guys, because we have all these vaccinations, so we would expect less people in the hospital. But two big things are different this year. Number one, our behavior. We are having parties, we're getting together, we're seeing each other. Number two, and more importantly though, Malcolm, is the fact that there's these new variants, which are now dominant here in the United States. They're more contagious, and they can end you up more in the hospital. So it's just a sobering reminder to all of us, as much as we want it to be over, the pandemic is not quite yet over.
I appreciate that. All right, Tony wants to know, CNN anchor Christiane Amanpour just announced her ovarian cancer to raise awareness. Tony wants to know, who is the most high risk for that specific disease?
I'm so glad you asked, Tony, because most of the ovarian cancer is diagnosed late, greater than 75%. And early diagnosis is key to good prognosis. So all of us women, let's think about all the women in our life. And Jeff, you think about all the women in your life. And we really have to think about who's high risk. And high risk are people who've had breast cancer before, people who've never given birth, people who are older, and people who have genetic conditions like BRCA1, BRCA2, or Lynch syndrome, and then those who have endometriosis. So the idea here, ladies, is that when the ovary ovulates, gives off an egg, it breaks through the surface of the ovary, and that can cause damage. So anytime you stop ovulation, like with birth control, with breastfeeding, or with pregnancy, you actually reduce your risk of ovarian cancer. So think about all the women in your lives and assess their risk.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say anything, Dr. Coley, so I'm being muzzled.
Oh, sorry, Al, I didn't even see you over there.
I've been waiting to say it on this show for a while.
Did you know
I have recordings.
You know what she just said? She goes, oh, I didn't even see you, Al.
Oh, wow, that was a
Love you, Dr. Coley.
Love you, Doc.
We'll be right back.
Bye.
That was good.
Love you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In 2020, many Americans applied for unemployment for the first time, and we've received several questions from you asking about the validity of this letter that people are receiving from the IRS, saying they are getting a refund from their taxes. So we want to verify, is the IRS mailing people about refunds on taxed unemployment? With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We spoke with Clay Sanford, a spokesman for the IRS. When you file for unemployment, the money you receive is normally taxable income. But this March, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan. This stimulus bill made any unemployment compensation from 2020 tax-free.
It's helping people out. It's giving them a break to get some money back.
The IRS said in May that there are more than 10 million Americans who filed their taxes before March 11th, when the stimulus bill was passed. If you're one of those people, you could get money back.
In other words, it's not, some people may think that it's a refund of $10,200, but it's not a refund. It's actually taking that out for figuring tax.
Sanford says it's important to note this notice should physically come in the mail and not electronically. If you got an email, it's likely a scam.
Any kind of an unsolicited email that's about your tax account is not going to happen.
So we can verify. Yes, the IRS is mailing refunds to people who claimed unemployment benefits as income and filed their taxes before the American Rescue Plan was passed. If you filed electronically with your bank info, the IRS says don't worry about getting something in the mail, they'll just deposit the money right into your account.
DBL is your daytime destination.
Fully agree with this.
We're chatting with the stars.
Have you checked in on Loughlin?
You must have read my mind. I've never felt better or been in a better place in my life. I think the director yelled cut.
And talking about what everyone is talking about.
It's a real thing.
And I thought it was great.
I'm here for it.
Why is anybody surprised?
I tell you what, polarizing for sure.
DBL is all new every day.
Coming up on DBL, a notorious jailbreak, a massive manhunt, and the woman who helped two convicts break free. That's in True Crime Chronicles. And Loughlin resurfaces in a graduation video. DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Tori, and Al. Let's get started. So there are many reasons to love living in the USA, but let's see if you agree with People Magazine's top reasons to love America. So according to People, the number 10 reason for loving America is Amanda Gorman. Number 9, the great outdoors. Number 8,
the movie?
The first gay Captain America. Marvel recently introduced the superhero as an LGBTQ teen. Number 7, Oprah. Number 6, America's mission to Mars. Number 5, Independence Day or the 4th of July.
Ooh.
Number 4, our ability to pivot. Or how businesses and schools were able to change and adapt during the pandemic. Number 3, Dolly Parton. Number 2, vaccines. And the number 1 reason to love America is The Rock? What do you guys think about that?
I think this list was made by one person. We're going to get some emails about this list.
The Rock is I love me, The Rock, but
Who
the
doesn't?
number 1 reason to love America is The Rock?
How about freedom?
Yeah, I know.
And the things that we have in this country. If people have seen a map of what the rest of the world looks like and things to complain about, the things we complain about in this country are ridiculous at this
Jeff,
point. When you go around the country and you see the poverty and the way that they are governed and what we have here, you should not be complaining. And The Rock should not be number 1, even though I love him.
I agree, and let me just say this. I can say this. I really don't like my government sometimes. Because I can say that on television is why I like America. Because I'm not jailed right now. You nailed it. It's freedom, and you shouldn't put that aside for The Rock, although I do love him. Go, DJ.
But it was People Magazine, so they're doing what they do. This is their demographic.
But that's what surprised me, Sam. This was like French fries didn't make it? Just something big. The Super Bowl.
They're not Bon Appetit magazine. They're People Magazine.
But everybody loves French fries, and French fries are associated with our country. We started that. Sorry.
It begins with French.
We didn't start French fries.
We did.
No,
yes,
we didn't.
I've been all over the world. Their fries are not as good as ours.
That's terribly wrong.
I'm straight up.
Yeah, okay.
Come at me,
You're wrong.
Sweden. No, who has better fries?
Oh, Canada. Poutine.
Oh, he's right.
Yeah,
Poutine
but
is
you,
good.
yes.
Yeah.
Dip 'em in gravy.
Yeah, but everything's better if you dump gravy on it. I mean, I'm in the middle of my workday. Now I'm going with regular fries.
Oh, how cute. Arash, our producer, said, what about plaid with stripes?
Oh,
hey!
For people at home,
Look,
they can't
can
tell that
viewers
Sam
see?
is dressed like 2 different oven mitts.
No, it's a Beetlejuice. It's a Tim Burton look. It's a Gwen Stefani.
It's my Moira Rose.
That's it.
If you've seen Schitt's Creek,
That's
you know
it.
that Moira Rose tends to dress similar to
Her bebes.
Mm-hmm. You know you
dressed like
it.
a frustrated 13-year-old. You are.
What?
You're dressed like a frustrated 13-year-old.
A
It's like acting
13-year-old
out against their
wears
parents.
a blouse like
We're
this
on
with
a
a pussy
TV
bow?
show. Yeah, Sam, they don't go together.
They do actually. It's a 90s look.
You're dressed like a highlighter. How can you tell her anything?
Every time I wear this outfit, you say something that's so
Maybe
mean.
that's a sign you should stop.
Trying to see if anybody's defending my outfit. No. Okay. We have an update on Chrissy Teigen's ongoing bullying saga. As we've been talking about, Chrissy recently apologized for her past cyberbullying and called herself a, quote, troll. Well, one of her targets was Project Runway designer Michael Costello, who recently said he thought about taking his own life after Chrissy called him a racist on Twitter. So now singer Leona Lewis is calling out Michael for making her feel uncomfortable during a dress fitting for a fashion show. She said Michael and his team refused to alter a dress to fit her, so she was forced to sit out the show. In a lengthy Instagram post, she said the experience left her feeling embarrassed and deeply hurt, saying, quote, I was left with deep insecurities after this, and I've had to work hard over the years to love my body. Leona also said while she doesn't condone bullying, she believes Chrissy deserves to be forgiven. Wow.
I got a lot of flack, just so you know, yesterday for what I said when I went strong at Chrissy, and I really loved Chrissy, but people came back saying, have you seen the update to this story? And I do want to say, I appreciate that we got more context to it, and I appreciate we're following up. I still don't think anyone
This has nothing to do with Chrissy, though.
Exactly.
Why
What are you
should we
talking about an
separate
update? That's not an update to the story. This is over here.
Thank you.
Chrissy Teigen told someone to go kill themselves. Not fitting you for a runway fashion show has nothing to do with Chrissy Teigen telling people to go kill themselves. We're deflecting and distracting on what happened. If you tell me to go kill myself and then you told someone because you were having a bad day to get out of their way, that is no excuse for what you told me. And that's exactly what you're making for Chrissy Teigen.
First of all, I wasn't done talking because I don't think you should ever still say, go kill yourself. That's what I was about to finish with. I will say this, though. In some respects, it gives context as, was she protecting other women of color, other people of color, and was that the reason she spoke up so proudly and so angrily? Now, again, I think it's criminal, literally criminal in court, to tell someone to go kill themselves to a point that people have done it. They've killed themselves. So I completely agree with you. But I think context is important in these type of stories.
If that was maybe a sole incident, incident, first of all, your answer to stick up for somebody shouldn't be telling someone to go kill themselves.
Amen. I completely agree
there.
I agree.
But if this was a sole incident, sure, maybe it would provide a little bit more nuance for the conversation. But considering that Chrissy has so many, and this is coming from a fan of Chrissy, not so much anymore, and I do hope that she has some sort of road to redemption. I always hope that for everybody. However, what Chrissy did was wrong, and she has a pattern of behavior of telling many people to kill themselves, not just protecting.
No, she was a real troll.
Lewis, if that was even the case.
Right, and you know what? It's all about your brand, because we've seen who's the talk show? Wendy Williams. She made like an off-color joke on her show. Remember about the person that jumped off their balcony, and in her audience didn't give her any love for that joke, but they certainly didn't leave, because Wendy Williams has built a brand on pushing things to the edge. She does go over the edge sometimes, but she eats it. She accepts it. People come at her. She claps back. But when you set your brand that I am, like Jeff said yesterday so well, I am 100% right and I am righteous in everything. When this comes out, it's going to hit you way harder. It's just like the kids say, it hits different. It hits different when the person that's supposed to be the online defender turns out to be one of the biggest perpetrators of bullying.
Wow, well said. Okay, so a dad surprised his daughter with an epic graduation video that featured a slew of celebrities. Take a look.
Mark Wahlberg here. I just wanted to slide into your high school graduation video and join everyone in offering our congratulations and wishing you all the best.
Bob Saget here, wishing you a lot of love and congratulations graduating from high school.
Congratulations on your big day.
She looks insane. Sorry, she does.
All right, did you catch that? Lori Loughlin also offered her congrats.
Tori's comment or the Lori Loughlin?
I'm sorry,
I don't know if they heard that, but yeah, she seemed a little.
I think this is the weirdest thing to be putting yourself in a senior graduating video when you have been accused of cheating with your senior children. I mean, this whole thing to me seems like I'm being trolled by Lori Loughlin.
Like, stay away from that.
I just feel like this is a troll. We're being trolled by this. This is all a joke. How would she be in a graduation video?
It's because you live in a world with no repercussions. I mean, you think about what they did.
Well, she went to jail.
Yeah, she served her time.
9 days, 11 days.
No, she was in for months. She was in for more.
But think, she permanently diverted somebody else's path forever.
Yep.
Like if Lawson was gonna get that last seat, and some parent, not her, but some parent bought that seat, which it appears has been going on because you saw that movie for a long time.
Yeah, and the Netflix documentary.
Yes, his life is permanently different. He might not end up living in a ditch, but he did not get into that school, and it's going to affect the rest of his life. And for the fact that she can appear in that so cavalierly,
so weird.
It's off-putting to me.
Yeah.
It really is. It just shows that you kind of just don't see that you did anything wrong.
Well, I think she was doing a favor. I think she was doing a favor for somebody. Obviously, they're fans of Full House if Bob Saget's in there.
That's true.
It is definitely ironic.
That's fair.
But at what point, if you're Lori Loughlin, say, hey, I have to move on with my life. I served my time. What I did was definitely wrong. Everyone in my circle and community was doing the same thing. I'm just the most famous person who got caught.
Well, maybe don't go into a high school graduation senior video. That's the dumbest move you could do.
I totally agree, but when you get on with your life, you're doing a favor for a friend.
Skip the senior graduation stuff. It's just not up your lane.
Do a different favor. I bet she could do a million things to give back.
Put some money into it.
Maybe not a million, but
Hey, Lori Loughlin, you want to come clean my house?
I think she could be
There's
the
other
face
things.
of changing this obviously this exchange of money for seating at a college. She could be the face of reforming that.
Right.
Because this is a thing. Just because we know her, clearly, I mean, other rich people, there was a wine merchant in there. Like, this has been going on forever.
Forever.
So can we do so, like, how long? Where did this start?
It's still going on. Even though you think it's not, it's still going on.
And
People are still
story just
buying
went away?
spots for their kids in some other way.
Completely agree with you. And she got her punishment and she served her time. I just think this was too ironic. You dipped your toe into something. Stay out of that lane.
But what if she wasn't meaning for it to get out? What if
It
she's
was.
Like,
Oh, that's a good point.
what if I did a video for you?
It's Mark Wahlberg. Of course it's going to get out.
But
That's a huge star.
Yeah, but a publicist that or
Give me
a
a break.
lawyer. What if I made a video for you and you threw me under the bus and pointed out for something stupid I did in the past, and now it's everywhere? And I did that as a favor for you.
I appreciate that, but I think there were enough celebrities in there to make that a story that would go viral.
You think we'd be doing a story on Bob Saget and Mark Wahlberg?
I'm saying she was.
Okay, we got
Point winner.
No. Point loser.
Okay, coming up on DBL.
Kind of point
A
I didn't mean to.
jailbreak ripped from the headlines, you guys. 2 convicts and the female prison worker who helped them make a run for it. We're talking to another former inmate who says it played out. Next in True Crime Chronicles.
What is now a collection of parades, parties, and concerts began with a clash between the LGBTQ community and New York police. In June 1969, police raided the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay bar in Greenwich Village, claiming the property had violated liquor laws. As police officers began making arrests, those remaining gathered outside. At this point in history, homosexuality was still considered a criminal offense, and it was common for police to raid bars like Stonewall. But this raid led to a nighttime riot. Over the next 6 days, thousands took to the streets in protest. In 1970, on the first anniversary of the police raid at Stonewall, activists organized the Christopher Street Liberation Day March, the start of the city's first Gay Pride Week. Fast forward to 1999, then President Bill Clinton became the first to issue an executive order, recognizing June as Pride Month. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It was one of the biggest manhunts in New York City history. 6 years ago, 2 convicts escaped with the help of a prison staffer. Now, a former inmate who watched it unfold is speaking out. Here's DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Richard Matt and David Sweat were 2 inmates convicted of first-degree murder in separate cases. They were serving their sentences at the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York. That's where they met Joyce Mitchell. She worked at the facility's tailor shop. The 3 quickly formed a bond, and Joyce became infatuated with the men and began having an affair. Meanwhile, Richard and David were planning an elaborate scheme to escape with the help of Joyce.
They wanted her, whether it be just for sex or for a favor. I think she got off on that.
Eric was an inmate at the time who also worked at the tailor shop with Joyce. He watched closely as the men seduced and manipulated Joyce in exchange for tools.
Joyce brought contraband into the facility.
She smuggled in blades and chisels by hiding them in frozen meat and would bribe security guards with baked goods to help her bypass the metal detectors. Using the tools, Richard and David worked for months during the middle of the night, sawing their way through, and even lost weight to fit through the tunnels. The scheme worked. Richard and David escaped by cutting through walls before exiting through a nearby manhole where they planned to meet Joyce and hop in the getaway car.
Being on the lam with 2 escaped convicts, that might be exciting.
They were gonna dump her as soon as they could.
Joyce got cold feet and never showed. The escape prompted one of the biggest manhunts in New York State history. Interstates shut down. Nearby schools closed, and at one point, more than 500 officers were involved. As the search grew, Joyce was arrested and charged.
If I could take it all back, I would. I can't begin to explain how sorry I am for all this.
Almost a month after the escape, Richard was spotted in Franklin County. During a police confrontation, he was shot and killed.
This is the camper where Matt was hiding and where the police finally got him.
2 days later, a state trooper spots David walking just a mile and a half from the Canadian border.
He was just about at the tree line.
He attempted to run off, prompting a state trooper to fire his gun. David was hit twice, but survived. Could they have done it without Joyce? And what was really in it for her?
Earlier, Eric and I spoke with Eric Jensen, and here's what he had to say.
We are here with Eric Jensen. Eric, thank you so much for joining us on DBL. This is such a fascinating story. You worked closely with Joyce in the Clinton Correctional Facility's tailor shop while you were an inmate there. So what was your very first memory of meeting Joyce, and what kind of person does she appear to be to you?
Clinton Correctional Facility, let me just say, is not a nice place, and it's very tense. You can feel the tension. It hovers like a nimbus cloud. When I walked in there, it was kind of like a laid-back place. She was very personal. She would be very friendly, flirtatious. You could see that she was very interactive with everybody in that tailor shop.
At what point did you start to realize she was being manipulated by Richard and David, and were you aware that they were planning an escape?
I was there in 2011 and 2012, which was 3 years prior to the escape. She would bring stuff in for David, stuff that he wasn't supposed to have, like extra food, art supplies, tattoo supplies, and she would spend time with him, a lot of time, one-on-one. I mean, he was the inmate supervisor, and she was the civilian supervisor, so they had to have a very close relationship. And, they would go back and forth, laughing, joking, talking, all day long, and sometimes they would go into that back room, the material room, for quite a bit of time, and we all kind of knew there was something going on, but we could never, we couldn't prove it, and nobody would dare say anything about it because, then you'd be labeled a snitch. But after I did leave, David did get kicked out of the tailor shop for inappropriate behavior with Joyce, and I believe then that's when Matt took over and started the whole manipulative process over again. But this time, he raised the stakes. He wanted to be out.
As a former inmate, you have a very unique perspective on all of this. So did you ever think that this elaborate escape could actually be done? And when you heard about it, did you think that Joyce was involved?
When you pull up to that prison in Dannemora and you come down the main strip, you look up at these walls that tower over the street. It's like a fortress. And you're like, there's no way getting out of here. That morning I woke up and I'm making coffee and I'm looking at the TV and I'm like, wait, that's David and that's Ricky. I'm like, they broke out, and I automatically knew they had help, but I didn't think Joyce was the one that helped them. At first they said they had power tools, and then come to find out she's the one that brought it to them.
This story actually inspired the series Escape at Dannemora, which you helped write and create. What was that like working with actors like Ben Stiller and reliving that life for you again?
It was a very, very unique experience, one that actually changed my life and actually helped me move forward in a different direction, away from just prison stuff, and get my foot in the door in the entertainment business as well. I worked with the writers for about 18 months before Ben came on, and then we got greenlit by Showtime. Ben, he's an amazing person. Even His directing skills are off the chart. Being able to play and have a role, it was a small role. It opened up my mind and my eyes to a whole different world. It's like, the world I was used to was prison and coming up. And I had, my childhood and growing up wasn't the best. And being able to now see a different path in life, it was really, a life-changing event.
Where is Joyce today, and do you think that she learned her lesson?
Joyce, as far as I know, last time I heard, Joyce was up in Malone working at a McDonald's. I haven't had any contact with her. It's hard to tell if somebody's learned their lesson. Prison is a really tough and hard environment, and there's one or two ways you come out of there. You either come out better or you come out worse. I hope she's really learned her lesson. And, I hope she just moves forward. I wish her all the best and that she doesn't, make the same mistakes.
You can watch new episodes of Cellmate Secrets every Friday on Lifetime. And the Joyce Mitchell episode debuts this Friday, June 18th on Lifetime. Thank you again.
Thanks, Eric.
We'll be right back.
You're welcome.
Fashion experts are noticing an interesting trend, the return of high heels. Let's connect the dots. When the world went into quarantine, dressy shoes got shoved to the back of the closet. Crocs and Birkenstocks made a big comeback as many of us chose comfort over looks. But with more people returning to work and traveling, heels are once again flying off store shelves. Experts say they're seeing a noticeable increase in the sale of dress shoes. And get this, there's now a real concern if there will be enough supply for all the demand. Google searches for heels are skyrocketing, and it's not just any old heel. Designer footwear is in high demand. Popular fashion designer Manolo Blahnik announced he's bringing back 5-inch heels, something he hasn't sold in years. A sign that as we return to normal, we're once again sacrificing comfort for style. And that is Connecting the Dots. That got our attention. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. Did you know consumers lost nearly $75 million to travel fraud since the start of the pandemic? The Federal Trade Commission says travel scams are the second most reported scam right now. There were more than 40,000 reports since January of 2020 with COVID-19 restrictions loosening. It's a good reminder to be cautious when making travel plans. Look out for fake flight deals, fake booking agents. Scammers are also creating fake websites that consumers are falling for. So if a deal seems unrealistic, it likely is. If your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. So call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. This one scares me because there's so many different air flight bookings, whether it's that I would not know. Yeah, Did you know I get the cheapest one?
Yeah. I just got wrapped, but I don't know where
we got wrapped.
I just heard a noise.
1 second. I didn't know what you were expecting me to say.
We'll be right back. Well done, everyone.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In 2020, many Americans applied for unemployment for the first time, and we've received several questions from you asking about the validity of this letter, that people are receiving from the IRS, saying they are getting a refund from their taxes. So we want to verify, is the IRS mailing people about refunds on taxed unemployment? With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We spoke with Clay Sanford, a spokesman for the IRS. When you file for unemployment, the money you receive is normally taxable income. But this March, Congress passed the American Rescue Plan. This stimulus bill made any unemployment compensation from 2020 tax-free.
It's helping people out. It's giving them a break to get some money back.
The IRS said in May that there are more than 10 million Americans who filed their taxes before March 11th, when the stimulus bill was passed. If you're one of those people, you could get money back.
In other words, it's not, some people may think that it's a refund of $10,200, but it's not a refund. It's actually taking that out for figuring tax.
Sanford says it's important to note this notice should physically come in the mail and not electronically. If you got an email, it's likely a scam.
Any kind of an unsolicited email that's about your tax account is not going to happen.
So we can verify. Yes, the IRS is mailing refunds to people who claimed unemployment benefits as income and filed their taxes before the American Rescue Plan was passed. If you filed electronically with your bank info, the IRS says don't worry about getting something in the mail, they'll just deposit the money right into your account.
DBL is your daytime destination.
Fully agree with this.
We're chatting with the stars.
Have you checked in on Loughlin?
You must have read my mind. I've never felt better or been in a better place in my life. I think the director yelled cut.
And talking about what everyone is talking about.
It's a real thing.
And I thought it was great.
I'm here for it.
Why is anybody surprised?
I tell you what, polarizing for sure.
DBL is all new every day. Tomorrow on DBL, TV comedy queen Fran Drescher joins us live. Is The Nanny really getting the reboot treatment with Cardi B? That's tomorrow, right here on DBL.
Ooh, that's going to be good. Welcome back to DBL. Tori, you got comments?
We sure do. A lot of people are really into your outfit.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. Sensitivity Training says Sam's top makes me think of Cracker Jacks for some reason.
Sensitive training.
Sarah Estacio says Sam's outfit reminds me more of a jailed pilgrim.
I'll take that. I like it.
And someone says lose the outfit for your beauty's sake.
Well, listen, let me tell you. When I woke up this morning, let me just show you the whole thing, okay? When I woke up this morning, I was trying to channel Gwen and Moira Rose. I think we have full screens of them, right?
Maybe just choose one.
Does that not look like, does my outfit not look like Gwen Stefani and Moira Rose had a baby?
Yes.
It looks absolutely nothing like that.
It looks exactly like that.
And how about the fishnet shoes?
Okay, maybe it's a bit much, but that's okay. I appreciate your thoughts and comments. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.